go for round two. He's going to go for the knock. Goes for the roll now. And he's spotted Serviel. Looks for the clip, but he's not going to be able to get it. Jumps out instead, but goes down.
Forward, trying to get a better position using the smoker's advantage. Drives straight in.
Out instead, but goes down. Now it's Jump Portal alive. For Soul in a 1-1. He cannot do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is PC Peasants Gaming and I have Crips here with me.
Yo, welcome back to the PMCO Spring Split 2020. This is one of the most prestigious PUBG Mobile tournaments in the country, and keep in mind that the title of the best team in the country is not the only thing at stake here. You get to represent your country internationally, and that's why this is one of the most important tournaments in the country.
Absolutely.
And,
We've
this
got
is the semi-finals. We are on day 5. What do you think?
Yep, it is day 5 of the semi-finals and we have a lot of action planned for you. We've got some interesting teams: Fnatic, VSGCrawlers, TeamTamilas, Marcos Gaming, ELMT Esports, 7Seas Esports. All these teams vying for that top position in the leaderboards of the semi-finals. We will be having the standings on the screen in just a bit, and here we go. Marcos Gaming coming in first place with 76 total kills and 165 points, followed by Megastars, 63 kills, 159 points, and third place Orange Rock, 50 kills, 143 points. But don't worry, ELMT Esports, Fnatic, TeamTamilas, and 7Seas Esports, all these teams are playing today. UMExRxN as well, so we're going to see some standing changes for sure as these teams perform in today's matches. Erangel, Sanhok, and I believe Vikendi.
Yes, we have Vikendi today as well, and some of the teams who are on this list will not be participating today because we have Group A and C. These two groups will be playing today, and teams like Fnatic, who are currently sitting on the 5th spot, will have a chance to get back into the top 3 or maybe even take the absolute top spot. Surprisingly, Fnatic hasn't won a single chicken dinner yet, but they have plenty of kills, and Fnatic almost always got caught in a bad position.
Yeah.
Either way, the teams who did have a much better time than them were Godlike and VSGCrawlers. Now, the VSGCrawlers, they have slipped down in the rankings a bit, but that's only because Godlike had an amazing game yesterday where they took like 17 kills. I mean, that was insane. Speaking of insane, they also are on the 11th spot in the list, followed by Revenge, Genocide, and Aztecc. Aztecc, surprisingly, haven't been having the best time in the tournament, but yesterday they stepped up quite well, and that's how they were able to get to the 14th place. Team Ecstasy and Cells, though, they kind of have they have a knack for trouble, and Ecstasy almost always finds themselves in the middle of a 3-team or a 4-team fight. Cells always find themselves outside the zone and have to rotate last, and that's the few problems that these teams can fix in order to get to the higher echelons of PUBG Mobile Club Open.
Alright, so we've got Lifecraft, TeamElves, Icky Mafia, Mayhem, Full Power, Aim Gaming, JSL, and Team -40, all in the danger zone, because remember, only 16 teams get into the finals, and positions 17 to 24 is not a position that you'd want to be in. But looking at the list of players, we've got Full Power definitely playing today. Team Ecstasy, of course, not in this page, but we have Icky Mafia, Lifecraft, Team -40, all these teams also playing today. So Mayhem, even Mayhem's playing today. So we have some of the top tier teams playing in today's matches, and it's going to be amazing to see how all these teams perform. I got my eyes on Mayhem because Mayhem, well, they got a couple of frags the last couple of games that they played, but they're way down in the leaderboards, and it is a tough climb from 20 to 16 for all these teams. So these guys really need to put in the effort, show us what they're made of, because they're under a lot of pressure. And if they don't perform under pressure, they're not going to be playing in the finals.
Yep, and in order to get to the finals, you need to have enough points to break into the top 16. Let's take a look at how these points are distributed. If you win a chicken dinner, you get 20 points, and if you come in second, you get 14. Similarly, there's 10 points for the team that finishes third, and 8 points for the team that finishes fourth, so on and so forth, all the way up until the 10th place, where you get only 2 points. You have 1 kill per point, and you need to have a decent mix of placement points and kill points in order to get there.
Yeah.
And you will get 4 chances to prove yourself and grab those points, because we have 4 maps. The first one being Erangel. Next, obviously, is one of the crowd favorites, Sanhok. After that is Vikendi, my personal favorite. And then we are back to Erangel.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a decent squad roster here for Group A. Fnatic, VSGCrawlers, Team Tamil, of course, performing amazingly well yesterday. Mumba is back again. Marcos Gaming, let's see if they can defend their podium position. And we've got Full Power and Team Ecstasy. Not the greatest performance from Full Power, but Team Ecstasy's Sahil, Frosty, these players tend to get a decent number of kills. Even Revenge Esports, Akshay is on fire. So let's see if Revenge Esports performs again today.
Group C, these bunch of teams are the really interesting ones. You see, Mayhem was doing really well in the group stages, but now they're not. ELMT Esports was average, but now they're even better. They're in the top 3. 7 Cs, -40, Lifecraft. These 3 teams had a horrible time in the group stages, but they are absolutely owning it in the semifinals. So there has been a massive role reversal. Icky Mafia continue their shenanigans of third-partying well. Celts continue to find themselves in troublesome situations, and -40, a team that has been one of the chat favorites, is not really showing us the kind of performance that they showed us previously. So they are choking a bit, but hopefully they will get another chance to bounce back in this tournament today.
Yeah. So looking at Erangel, the first match, we do have some strong contenders for the chicken dinner. So let's talk about some predictions here. We know that Iki Mafia, let's look at the bottom of the ladder. Iki Mafia has won a chicken dinner. Team Cells, I believe, has won a chicken dinner in Erangel, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and then we've got Fnatic, we've got Team Tamil, Marcos Gaming. These are teams that generally perform well in Erangel for the chicken dinner. And we've got Marcos Gaming, ELMT Esports on the screen right now. Marcos Gaming definitely have to worry about ELMT Esports, because this is a team that has done really well in the semifinals so far. 57 kills. Of course, Marcos Gaming has played more games than them, so they have the higher kills and the higher damage. But this is definitely one of those teams that Marcos Gaming is going to want to contend with. And if ELMT Esports gets knocked out early on, then Marcos Gaming are most likely to defend their first place position. But if Element performs the way they generally perform, it's going to be a very close battle between these two teams.
Definitely. Marcos Gaming are really showing up in terms of firepower. Their players, most of them are in the top bunch of players with highest amount of kills. So they're not just succeeding as a team, but they're also succeeding individuals. ELMT Esports, on the other hand, have one devastating player called Gabbar, who has been putting up a decent amount of kills, but the rest of his team does not show up the way that Gabbar does. So
Fair
that's
enough.
one thing about them.
That's true. Marcos Gaming has definitely the best kill spread and the best player performance so far. We have 3 players from Marcos Gaming in the top 10 leaderboards of the players. Only Gabbar from the group stages. Gabbar, of course, did the highest amount of damage in the group stages, just beating Daljit by 1 or 2 kills. So yeah, ELMT Esports has just the one player for sure, but Gabbar is also their IGL, I believe, and I did have a word with Marcos Gaming's team owner, and they are definitely worried about ELMT Esports, and they are looking to perform better than ELMT Esports in the coming games. And then we've got Team Tamil and Fnatic. Fnatic not having the greatest games so far, but they came back towards the end of Day 4 semifinals, which was yesterday. Team Tamil had fantastic performance against Fnatic. They ruined Fnatic in their Erangel push. Fnatic pushed Team Tamil, and they paid a heavy price. And then Team Tamil clinched that chicken dinner. So Team Tamil is definitely going to be feeling very confident after yesterday's performance. Maybe they'll be able to sustain that energy, that confidence, that morale in today's games as well.
Yep, and especially after Tamil was able to eliminate Fnatic, even though Tamil did make some mistakes, that's gonna really mess with the morale of Team Fnatic's players. So it's like two birds with one stone. Element get to revive their own mental stability, and Fnatic is kind of down. Either way, the plane starts downwards towards Primos today and goes all the way up towards Severny in this first game. Revenge, as always, heading towards Primorsk. I'm assuming team -40 will land somewhere nearby as well because they also have a habit of going down there. Or maybe Feripia will be contested heavily. Fnatic heading towards the south parts of Pachinki and the southern bunch of settlements that they always go for. Surprisingly, Team Elements is also heading downwards. So I'm assuming they're trying to make a long jump towards military base or settle somewhere near Ferry Pier or near the bridges. That puts them in the danger zone near Fnatic.
Okay.
The Mills going towards South George and AIM, and it's Ecstasy who's heading towards the South George Pool dockyards this time. Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, if you see the map right now, we've got Fnatic going for their regular drop, and the circle on the screen right now, it is a nice central circle. So those of the teams which go for military base and Novo will have to obviously rotate. But I really want to put your eyes on Team 14, that is Element, because Element is not dropping too far away from Fnatic, so they know where Fnatic generally drops, and maybe they're looking to contest with Fnatic. Let's see. Team Tamil, of course, going for Georgie as usual, and so is AIM Gaming. So we might see the familiar AIM Gaming versus Team Tamil fight at Georgiapol like we had before. And let me remind the audience that AIM Gaming won that fight. So Team Tamil might wanna not fight AIM Gaming in Georgie again and see a repeat performance.
Yeah, and surprisingly, these two teams are the only ones who actually end up fighting in South George. Yesterday, we saw Team Insane drop in the same spot, the George Pool dockyards, where Team Ecstasy is now. And Insane never fights. Nobody even challenged them. But since this time the circle is such that you're forced to enter the area. Never mind, I'm going to talk about that later. Cells are already hanging up on VSGCrawlers in the center of the road, and VSGCrawlers haven't even made landfall. They're still in the air. We saw a few seconds ago that someone in school was trying to get an aim onto the VSGCrawlers players, and now they're in the cars. They are hunting down the players as they parachute downwards.
It's so funny. I was just talking to Atanki on Instagram a few minutes before the game started, and I thought he'd be in this Erangel match, but it looks like Atanki is not playing today. And it's funny because Atanki is one of their best players of TeamCells, but hey, TeamCells still managing to get that early kill on VSGCrawlers, so that is a great start for this team. And you know, they are a team that have always won the early fights and the mid game fights, but they've not really had too much of luck in the late game fights. They've always had to third party so many people. They've got into multiple fights on multiple fronts, and hence have gotten eliminated towards the end. But let's see if TeamCells can actually keep it up. Anyway, we've got the circle on the screen right now. Crips?
Yep. Team Element have fallen away from Fnatic at one time, but the longer approach they glom. Team Marcos, they are spread out all the way over Pochinki and Ruins and all that area. They're too far spread apart, so I'm actually concerned right now. If you catch one of their players individually, you can pretty much thirst them without any trouble. VSGCrawlers, though. How do you feel when you lose a player before you even land on the ground?
Well, you know, I mean, it's
unfortunate.
It's not that bad. I mean, I'm sure VSGCrawlers can still dish out some damage with one player dead. But anyway, it's not a good feeling, I'm sure, and I'm sure they're cursing him. But they didn't get the vehicles, of course. TeamCells got the vehicles before him, and they murdered him. Well, anyway, we've got Iki Mafia finally in Erangel, a map that they generally win in. They go for the good rotations, even though they always rotate from Yasnia because they always drop Yasnia. So let's see how Iki Mafia, hey, even Lifecraft always drop in Yasnia. Both these teams, like, it's almost as though they have a gentleman's agreement that, hey, let's not bother each other while we're looting in Yasnia, and then they end up rotating slowly towards the circle, and then we see them get into action. But yeah, ELMT Esports, what are your thoughts on them, Crips?
ELMT Esports have been performing really well. Actually, I did not even expect them to be this damn good, but they are surprisingly a treat to look at. I want to come back to Cells. You did mention that Atanki isn't playing today. I noticed that Illusion is playing in his place. How do you think team?
Um, just
To be honest, I mean, yeah, Atanki is one of their strongest. I'm not sure if. Yeah. Yeah, 1 second.
So yeah, I mean, let's talk about, of course, Team Cells without Atanki. I mean, I've not really seen Illusion play that much, and I would be interested to see how these guys perform with this new roster. But hey, man, like Fnatic has been doing a decent job without Scout OP as well. So I think the team owners, the coaches, kind of know what they're doing when they do these roster shuffles. But hey, here's a team that hasn't had any roster shuffles. It's Believe, Shadow, Navjot, and Cloak from Team Mayhem. Mayhem has had some really amazing, how do you say, early fights in the group stages, but not the greatest fights in the semis. So let's hope that Mayhem actually come back. You know, they're a team that a lot of people expected, had high expectations of, but they just haven't been showing us their their skills, their talent. So let's see how it works out. But hey, speaking of Scout OP, he's back in the game.
Oh, finally. A lot of players were actually going and asking us about where Scout is. Some people said he's in Indonesia on a holiday. And honestly, we're just glad to have him back. But do you think Fnatic is better with Scout in it or better without him? Or best games? So his playstyle is a bit too dangerous.
Yeah, sorry, Crips, you were saying? Your voice got a little distorted.
Yeah, so I was asking if you think Scout is a better fit for Fnatic or his other teammates. Yes, Scout, I agree. He has one of the best aim in the country, but also his playstyle is a bit too aggressive, so he does put himself in dangerous situations at times.
Well, yeah, Scout is... I mean, he plays the initiator role, the entry fragger role, so like I completely understand why Scout OP puts himself in danger. But he is playing to his role. I mean, that's kind of what he's supposed to do. And the entry fragger is typically the first person to die. So those of you in chat who are criticizing him or who have just generally lambasting him for not performing well, dying early, that is his role. He's supposed to do that. He's supposed to put his team in a favorable position. And I think he's been doing it all right. So he's made a couple of mistakes in the past. We did see him overextend once in Miramar. It didn't work out. But under, of course, Autumn's tutelage, I'm sure, and of course, having such a big holiday, I'm sure Scout is back to really show us what he's made of.
Definitely. Meanwhile, we have the circle on our screens. We see the Team Ecstasy is already rotating towards Pochinki. They might run into Team Revenge soon enough because the circles are already about to close and the teams who are in Primorsk and Feripia have moved in. We see that even Team Power are moving into the circle via the bridges. I don't think anybody's bridge camping them, so they're kind of safe over here. 7Cs were in Sverny up until this point, and now they're moving towards Rozhok, where Lifecraft is close by. Lifecraft has just left Yasnaya. Interesting. I didn't think they would leave this early, but here they are.
All right. The circle, of course, is not favoring Team Ecstasy, so they are going for the rotation. I wonder where they will position themselves. They have obviously learned a lot of lessons from the last couple of semi-final games where they did take multiple fights towards the end of the circles. They have been playing the edge, which hasn't really worked out for them as much as they hoped for. And if you've noticed in PMCO, at least the meta here is to take the central circle. But hey, Fnatic getting a knock and Scout blowing up Exotic and Ronak finishing off Villain. Oh my god, Fnatic is back in style. What a beautiful elimination of Lifecraft. And it looks like Always has found another player and he's also going for the spray down.
Oh man, that's just way too much domination at this point. Fnatic obviously had a massive advantage over that, but Lifecraft, they already get eliminated. That's just way too much to deal with. I don't think that's the kind of start they were expecting.
Indeed. Let's see what Scout OP does as they turn their eyes towards potentially Team Cells on the map. Never mind. We've got Team Ecstasy, of course, holding up around Mayhem. And the shots are being fired. Shadow got caught out in the open. Shots do connect as Frosty OP taps him out with his M16. Meanwhile, Scout OP gets a knock on Cells' illusion off screen. So we have two fights happening. Alright, we've got Scout OP and back to Navjot. Crips?
Yeah, I think Scout is in a very good position at this point. He definitely has angles onto multiple teams, but as always, he's always gotten into trouble whenever he goes around without his teammates. So I guess maybe a little bit of care is in order.
Indeed. And now we have a nice overhead view of the battlefield as Shadow tries to get an angle on his aggressors. Meanwhile, Sahil also spots out his teammate Erangel getting peppered left, right, and center as Erangel tries to go for cover. Sahil holding the angle, hoping to get a trade for Erangel. And oh my god, Mayhem's Believe gets peppered out as well. As these players, Mayhem tries to rotate. Shadow finally getting caught out by Venom. Frosty OP spots out Cloak, gets a couple of shots in. Trying to take out the wheels of that SUV. Frosty OP still trying to peek that same angle. Shots are being fired. Both Mayhem's Believe and Cloak are badly injured. Even Shadow and Believe quite injured, and Shadow needs to apply a bandage. Crips.
Yeah, I think we might be desynced a bit. Just give me a minute.
Alright, we've got Team Cells on the screen right now. They've taken a little bit of damage from the Fnatic boys, but not sure what's happening there. We're back to Frosty OP on the screen right now. They're putting a lot of pressure on Team Mayhem. Shadow is less than half HP right there, and Team Ecstasy are trying to go for the push here. Mayhem have decided to disengage. They were not in a favorable position, and it didn't make sense for them to continue this fight. Meanwhile, Ronak and Always, they are pushing towards School, which currently has Marcos Gaming. Revenge trying to get the shots on Fnatic, but Fnatic drives by, no issues so far. Can Revenge's team get a few knocks on them? But Marcos Gaming also opened fire. AIM Gaming also are rotating in the far west. But always Marcos Gaming is the dude. Gets a always knock. Fnatic unfortunately caught out. What are they going to do here as they position themselves in Rozhok?
Yep. Team Fnatic always have had a knack of losing teammates early on in the game, so I guess they're kind of used to it. This time it's Oasis who's going to bite the dust, potentially, instead of Scout. So they have the strongest aimer still alive. But I think Fnatic inside Rozhok can still, take a couple of shots at Team Marcos and hopefully keep them suppressed. Maybe find a way to save Oasis, but I think it's a bit difficult to get to him.
Indeed. And now Marcos Gaming's Max Cash has always pinned in that tree right now. And even Blazy getting in on that action. They want to take out a Fnatic player as quickly as possible. Scout OP with the smoke, hoping to revive. But Ash gets knocked out by Max Cash with the SKS. Oh my god, Fnatic taking multiple casualties. Max Ash now has his eyes on Ronak, so they know exactly where the Fnatic players are playing. And all they're doing is putting up the pressure, but Ronak at least managing to save Ash, because Ash was in a favorable position. But it looks like Oasis is going to bleed out and bite the dust.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate loss for Fnatic right off the start. But maybe they can still salvage this. It's not all bad, but they're continuing to rotate away, and this might just be even more problematic.
Ooh, shots connect on Ronak. As you said correctly, Fnatic has decided to disengage. And there's a nice M249 north of Rozhok that is up for grabs. The circle, of course, is a Rozhok school app circle. And so Marcos Gaming comfortably... No, well, the circle just screwed them and moved to Rozhok. So looks like only Fnatic, AIM Gaming are in the circle with ELMT Esports far east of the safe zone. Going to have to deal with Team 13 Mayhem in a bit.
Definitely. But I actually like the position of Fnatic now. They're kind of centrally placed. And at one point, even though Marcos had the advantage on them, now Marcos are going to have to push towards them. So they're going to get peppered by Fnatic on their way in.
And now Team Elements have managed to get a knock on Shadow of Team Mayhem, and they are not going to let this knock go in out in vain. But Max Ultron gets a couple of knocks in, but Navjot retaliates, knocking Prince down. It's up to Navjot. Can he clutch this for his teammates as Cloak bites the dust? Navjot, third person peeking. But he doesn't manage to connect, and Gabbar makes quick work of Navjot getting the knock. Mayhem in a lot of difficulty right now. Ultron getting ready with the nade. He throws it. Does it connect though? Oh, but Believe manages to just dodge it in the nick of time. Believe decides to put out some smokes for his teammates so that they can maybe get a better angle on his enemies. Navjot smoked out, but still pretty much in the danger zone. Ultron going for the smoke again. And Frost going for the early push. Trying to... Yep, he gets Navjot. He knows that Navjot was going for the res. Frost takes a huge nade to his face. And it's now Shadow and Believe, a 4v2 situation. Look at the way Team Elements is playing so aggressively. They have Team Mayhem cornered. And there you go. Beautiful molly and knock from Ultron. And it is last man standing. Shadow is not looking good. He's got less than 50% HP. And beautiful sprayed on Ultron. Amazing knocks. Mayhem eliminated so quickly in the game.
I did not know that you can manhandle Mayhem this easily. I thought they would have more control in that fight, but they were completely being played. And now all the other teams, they have to be, taking this team seriously because they know how to hold their compound smell. Full power. They were knocked out by Team -40. An impressive push by them indeed. But as I say that, Team Mafia are destroying VSGCrawlers.
Well, I think you're a little bit behind as Icky Mafia look a little damaged. Oh, never mind. They get the knock on Roach and the elimination. Yep, VSGCrawlers has been completely eliminated. I got them confused with Team Cells, and now it looks like Icky Mafia will have to deal with Cells. The nades start flying as Red throws a couple of shots at him. Rock's getting the knock on Pain, so Icky Mafia is one player down already. And it looks like Team Cells is going to go in for the push. Red getting ready, going for the Dasha push right there. Rock's joining it as well, but the nade gets Red. Oh my god, what a beautiful defense from the Icky Mafia players. Rock's going for the quick smoke, trying to get some cover for Red as MJ plays a far position. Maybe he has the angle on Neonek, maybe he doesn't. Icky Mafia's Pain still knocked. We've got a 3v3 situation right now on the screen. Is Zverev going to be able to help Pain? He's going to have to move that buggy and first res out his teammate. Rock's also going for the res with Illusion, third person peeking, trying to get an angle. MJ with the nade. Is that nade going to connect? Oh, it just about connects, doing some decent damage to Neo, but not enough to knock him. And another nade from Illusion. Beautiful. What a play right there. A Pain has been knocked out again by MJ. Here we go, Team Cells with a two-player knock. They're going to go for the push. Illusion getting another knock on Zverev, and it is up to Neonike. Will he be able to clutch this? They are going for the finish, and Illusion catches him out, and it is done for Icky Mafia. They've been eliminated at position 12. What an amazing push by Team Cells.
This was a mirror situation with both the teams having one player down each. At one point, I thought maybe Team Icky Mafia can pull it off, but then the nades started flying in, and that's when we realized that you can never, ever count them out. And so many smokes were deployed. I don't think that any of them were actually even useful, but the nades, my god, they were devastating.
Alright, we've got a couple of Team Tamil players knocked right in the middle of Rozhok, and UMExRxN Bhishma also still alive and kicking. But Team Elements have now turned their eyes to Ronak. They get the knock on Ronak, and Marcos Gaming also getting into the fight as well. M40 now aggressing Team Ecstasy. We've got multiple fights happening. Fnatic versus Element. And Element get the kill on Ronak as well. M40 also getting a couple of kills on Sahil. And UMExRxN Bhishma, look at him go. He is raining terror on the Team Tamil players. Is that nade going to get him?
I think so. I have a very strong feeling it's been connected. Does. It's a double Kobe. Team Tamils knocked out.
Amazing gameplay from the UMExRxN players. Finally, we see some action as, oh my god, Surya from Marcos Gaming also gets knocked out by, I don't know who, but Team Ecstasy is already eliminated. M40 now turning the eyes to Team ELMT Esports, but that nade just about falls short of Ruthless. Oh, but he gets sprayed down by Element's Prince. Element on fire right now. Crips?
Yes, they have a very strong position. They are gatekeeping pretty much every team, and all the other teams are stuck inside one compound. Very similar to M40, but they know how to play the angles well around their windows. Gabbar now using the third person to his advantage, hoping that he can keep the players downstairs. But on the other side of the screen, 7C's final boss is doing way too much damage. And look at his cheeky position. He has the angle on red. Final boss and 420 OP in a very comfortable situation. Nobody will expect them to be in this position. This is perfect.
Oh, but Red goes in for a swim, and this is not going to be a good idea. But AIM Gaming getting a couple of shots on the 7C's Esports player 420 OP. 420 has to reposition himself. He's still keeping an eye on Celts' Red, the last man standing from Team Celts. Meanwhile, it's ELMT Esports and M40 in the same building. Almost. Yes. Here we go. The M40 players just have 2 players, but Element has all 4. Let's see if Nexus OP can clutch this. He is known for his clutches. Oh, but he takes a chunk of damage. Nexus OP. Oh, but Carnage gets the knock on Gabbar. Are they going to equalize? Nexus OP quickly going for the heal. Carnage tries to get a third party, but does not succeed. And Carnage and Nexus gets the trade on ELMT Esports. And M40 back in the game, but Nexus OP goes down. Can Carnage get the trade on Frost? Frost is dangerously low, and he goes upstairs. Can M40 clutch this? What a beautiful amount of damage. It's down to 2 players for ELMT Esports right now, and 1 player knocked.
I don't think he has the time to revive. I don't think Frost should even attempt to go ahead and revive his teammate. Both of them are getting pushed by the zone. Just finish each other off and get there. Finally, Frost gets knocked out, but Carnage, he's staying outside the zone, trying to heal up for as long as he can. He's gonna run out of health kits eventually. But while I say that, Elements are in now trouble from Team Marcos. Marcos eliminate Team Elements. Oh my god.
Beautiful.
But even then, the danger isn't over. Marcos now have to push in towards Fnatic, and Fnatic are in the zone.
Yeah, not just that, we've got 7C's Esports sort of keeping an eye on everybody. They did get a kill on the M40 player, Nexus OP, and finally M40's Carnage falls to the blue zone, and that is the end of Team -40. But now it is Marcos Gaming, Fnatic, and AIM Gaming. AIM Gaming, of course, having the best position right now, but Scout OP taking that molly pretty harshly right in his face. This is not looking good for the Fnatic players either. They do have their hands full. Surya spraying down suppressive fire on Ash, but Destro getting the knock on Max Cash. And also 7C's Esports chiming in, getting a knock on Marcos Gaming as well. Look at that. Marcos Gaming are down to the 1 player. If Surya doesn't move into the blue zone, he is going to fall to the blue zone. But it looks like he's going to go for the heal off. And yep, that is exactly what Surya is doing right there.
But he's pinned. I don't think he has a way in. He tries to desperately move, but Destro has his scar ready and trained at him.
And now we have Fnatic, UMExRxN, 7C's, and AIM Gaming. UMExRxN also have the circle, so they are in the best position right now. They just need to gatekeep Fnatic as much as they can. And the circle rotates to the far western side of Rozhok, but Fnatic getting the knock on Kiki. Beautiful right there. Fnatic, Ash, and who's the last guy?
It doesn't really matter.
Scout!
It's Ash and Scout. So
Yeah.
two of the strongest players are now alive for Fnatic. And if Scout can make his way into the last circle, he can be a very difficult man to deal with.
Absolutely.
Fnatic have time and again proven that they can work with a Mantis advantage. And it doesn't really matter because Fnatic have a nice opportunity to move in towards the other side. But AIM Gaming will get the knock onto them. Rocky deletes Scout from the server and Ash has no time to revive him. He's the last man left.
Absolutely.
Either way, I think he can bide his time.
Fnatic is going to want to push in at some point, but look at Rocky sort of gatekeeping Ash. He's got the angle even on Kiki. But I guess he's got more focus on Fnatic. He's going to want to get that Fnatic kill just for the shits and giggles. Now, Mumba need to push into what is AIM Gaming's territory. They have the vantage point, they have the circle, they have everything. But 7Seas Esports is also not too far away, north side of the circle. They take over the warehouse, and it looks like AIM Gaming will now have to deal with them before they turn their sights onto Mumba.
Definitely. AIM Gaming are centrally located and they have a massive amount of advantage, but they're surrounded. If they don't play their cards right, they will be the first team to get wiped out. Meanwhile, Mumba, they have taken control of this one place where they have 3 members in a house and then 1 lone member in another one. Ash is about to run out of health kits. What does he do? What does he do? He's not going to be able to make it. And yep.
Well, yep, that's about it. That's Fnatic out of the game, but never mind Fnatic. We still have so many players, 11 players alive. 7Seas Esports only 1 player down, but they still have 420 and final boss. So let's not forget that 7Seas Esports is still pretty much in this game. They have the circle, so do AIM Gaming, but AIM Gaming has no idea, or do they, about 7Seas Esports?
I think they do, but I guess they're a bit distracted by Mumba currently. Kiki, he's the only man inside this house. His teammates are in the other one. No, wait. Actually, he's the one with the teammates. Goldblade was the one in the other house. But here we go. AIM Gaming have spotted out 7Seas and the trades start happening. Zigsaw hits the floor. So does Ipman. Rocky up in this little sniper tower has to do all the heavy lifting as he needs to guard against final boss.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, Mumba realize this and they start pushing in.
AIM Gaming is on fire. They have the circle. They're taking 2 fights on multiple fronts, but they're doing some serious damage. Final boss almost taking out Rocky in the tower right there, but Rocky's got the first aids, and now final boss need to worry about Mumba as well. Oh, here we go. Mumba going for the push. Finally, this is the last ditch push from Mumba. 3 players alive. Here we go for Mumba, of course, and it is last man standing for AIM Gaming. Rocky in the tower, and
He's pinned.
He's pinned, and he is eliminated. Kiki making quick work of AIM Gaming. AIM Gaming having the circle for the longest time, but finally losing it to both 7Seas and Mumba. Not their fault. Multiple fights on multiple fronts. And final boss. GG.
No.
GG, well played for final boss, as Mumba just have to worry about the 1 player 420 OP, but let's not forget the Clutchmeister 420 OP. He's not to be messed with. He is known, but he does not have the circle. And they've heard him telegraph. He gets a lot of damage on Destro, but he is going to die to the play zone. What an amazing push for Mumba. They didn't have the circle, and then they did, and then they won the chicken dinner.
Yeah, but I love the way how Mumba played in the last circles. They got their timing down to perfection, and I have been saying it time and again. You might not have the play zone, you might have it, but the best position is not the thing that guarantees victory. It's the timing. And Mumba, they timed their attacks down to perfection. The moment 7C started attacking AIM, Mumba was like, all right, this is our chance. They moved right in. And even then, while they're pushing, they had the brains to stop at one point.
Right.
First figure out at the edge of the hill where the other players are and then continue moving. So they took that little pause, which gave them the information they needed. And that's exactly what won them the entire game.
No, and you know what? Mumba had the position, and I'll give them that, but they also dished so much of damage out there. Like, look at Destro with the 545 damage, the 4 kills. They not only finished off Team Tamil, but they took so many multiple fights. And, I mean, so did AIM Gaming, but then AIM Gaming was unfortunately sandwiched between 7Seas and Mumba, so it just didn't work out for them. But what was disappointing was ELMT Esports. I didn't expect a 4v2 against -40 to go in -40's favor. That was completely surprising. And then Marcos Gaming from nowhere just pushed in and finished off ELMT Esports in like a blink of an eye. And let's not forget what happened to Fnatic. Fnatic, they lost their players early on in that horrible rotation. Yeah, I mean, Scout and Ash did manage to harass quite a few players from their position, but the circle again screwed Fnatic, and they just couldn't do the rotation.
Yeah, Fnatic almost always gets circle screwed, but we have seen instances where they managed to make things work and make the best of what they have. This time they managed to come forth by trying to go into a heal off. Either way, the top players of this match are on our screen right now. 420 OP with his brilliant positioning has 4 kills. I think most of them were onto the players of Team Ecstasy. Umumba, Destro, my goodness, this man deserves all the credit in the world. And 3 Umumba players are in the top 5. We have Destro, Kiki, and Bhishma. So yeah, Umumba don't only get the chicken dinner points, they also get plenty of kill points. So this is a big jump for them.
Yep, almost 1500 damage dealt by Umumba, which is quite an amazing performance. But hey, the top 5 player, like, I can't believe 420 is still one of the best players in the semis so far. 7C's Esports really need to like up his pay grade, because the way that man has been performing, it has been off the charts.
Definitely. I think 7Cs could have won the chicken dinner as well if Final Boss did not go down to the play zone in that last circle. That was a major decisive factor.
Yeah.
Either way, that shouldn't be too sad. They anyway had a man disadvantage. So 7Cs Esports coming in second, not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Umumba with 13 kills, impressive. Fnatic, surprisingly, even though they finished 4th, they managed to come out on top. No, wait, actually, yeah, they did finish 4th because of the placement points, but then they have plenty of kills. So they're in the 3rd place overall. ELMT Esports, they have 7 kills, which is again impressive, and that's exactly what brings them up all the way up here.
Yeah, finally, -40 also in a top 5 situation. 6 placement points, 6 kills. So if you see, all top 5 teams have gotten almost comparable kills, except for Umumba, who has completely utterly decimated their opponents. But I mean, look at how important kills are. Like, Aim Gaming, even though they came in 3rd place, they are they're coming in 6th position, which is quite sad. Like, I mean, they got the placement points, but they just have 2 kills, and so they're right below -40, which was just unfortunate.
Definitely. And then we have the other teams who had the worst possible luck. Moving into Rozhok is anyway a difficult task, and moving in when there are so many teams already there, that's just impossible. And that's why we saw Iki Mafia, Ecstasy, and Team Revenge also struggle quite a lot. Surprisingly, TeamTamilas, VSGCrawlers, Full Power, they were knocked out before the final few circles of the game even began. So these were the teams who bit the dust very early.
Absolutely. Like, I don't know what happened to Livecraft, but Mayhem just has not been having the best couple of games. Like, their semis have been terrible. I believe Mayhem got eliminated by wait, which team again? Marcos Gaming? Not sure.
I wasn't even sure. Yeah, it was happening so fast.
Yeah, no, Mayhem got eliminated by ELMT Esports in that outside Rozhok push, and it was fantastic the way Element just destroyed them. Even Team Cells, amazing performance. They just pushed the shit out of Iki Mafia and finished them quite quickly. So we've got Marcos Gaming still in 1st place, Megastars still in 2nd place, Umumba moving up to 3rd place, but ELMT Esports with the kills still remain, of course, in 4th place, which is not a bad place to remain in for the first match. Orange Rock goes down, Fnatic goes down, but 7C's finally going up. They have the 1 chicken dinner, and all Fnatic needs is the 1 chicken dinner for them to climb up the rankings.
Yeah, surprisingly, Fnatic, they hardly ever take chicken dinners up until the last day. Even in the group stages, they got 2 chicken dinners, both of them on the last day. So up until the last day, they were just trailing in the 5th, 6th position, and then they just boomed, skyrocketed all the way up towards the 1st place.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, look at Team Cells, of course, 39 kills. Amazing performance from them. I mean, like, this is a team that even without Atanki, so we know that they don't have one of their top players in the roster right now. There has been a roster shift, but it doesn't seem to affect their performance. In fact, they are slowly moving up the ranks. And I'm sure that's giving them a lot of confidence, giving them a lot of morale. So let's see how Team Cells plays out the rest of the games.
Yeah, and I think they were not the only one who had a roster change, right? I think there was a roster change in Mayhem as well, no?
No. Mayhem's been fine, but Fnatic's Scout OP is definitely back.
Yeah.
So I believe Paritosh is now sitting on the bench.
Okay. Maybe it was Marco. I'm not sure. We'll see in the next game. Let's see what Sanhok has in store for us. Either way, these teams on your screen right now, Lifecraft, TeamElves, Icky Mafia, Mayhem, they are all in a bunch of danger. Lifecraft was doing pretty well for the semifinals. Surprisingly, they have now slipped down. I guess the comeback for them isn't that tough because they are on 78 points. But Elves, Icky Mafia, and Mayhem, they are in a load of trouble. Icky Mafia, they were completely eliminated, completely decimated in this game. So I guess they don't want to repeat the same mistake again.
Erangel is kind of their map, and I was surprised to see Icky Mafia just get destroyed by Team Cells. But hey, I mean, there is another Erangel map for match 4, so we might see some changes. Icky Mafia, of course, still dropping in Yasnia. They haven't changed their strategy much. So let's see if we see some changes in match 4 or if they play it the same way like they've always done.
Yeah, I am looking forward to see a lot of good stuff from AIM Gaming as well. In the group stages, they were pretty consistent with their placements. This time, they are consistently low, so I hope that changes for their sake.
Let's see what happens. We have which map coming up next?
We have Sanhok.
Yes, finally Sanhok. Let's see what the teams do here. Like, we've got the team list right now on the screen with us, and I do have a lot of hope for AIM Gaming in Sanhok. AIM Gaming is a team that has consistently rotated well, performed well. Marcos Gaming, again, a strong contender for Sanhok. Those guys, these are the teams that generally get the close quarter fights quite well. Even Revenge Esports is a good contender for Sanhok. So these are the teams that I have my eyes on.
Definitely. More than teams, you need to also keep your eyes on a bunch of players who have a massive potential of going berserk in Sanhok. A few of them are Akshay from Team Revenge. Now, Revenge always drops safely in Zaki, or I don't think that's going to be the case when it comes to Sanhok. The dude from Marcos and Pan Singh also from Marcos Gaming, both of them with 24 and 21 kills respectively. They are doing really well. I'm proud of their team. Manti OP climbing up in the world with 24 kills. That's putting TeamTamilas on the map. And then from 7Cs, we have 420 OP.
Yeah, absolutely. 420 OP, what a performance from him. In general, he's just been on fire. Now we have 6th placed Team Insane's Naruto, of course, 21 kills. ELMT Esports' Prince coming in 7th with 21 kills as well. And another ELMT Esports player, Ultron, coming in with 21 kills. So both Prince, Ultron, in general, Team ELMT Esports players are performing well. Of course, Gabbar was the kill leader for the group stages. Let's see if we can get some of that Gabbar magic back, because Team ELMT Esports is one of the strongest contenders for the top 3 positions right now in the semifinals. And of course, Max Cash from Marcos Gaming. I love how aggressive Marcos Gaming has been playing in general. They've been on fire, but they haven't won any more chicken dinners, and they're probably looking to win a chicken dinner at least today. And then we've got Swag from Mega with the 20 kills coming in 10th place.
Yeah, speaking of chicken dinners, getting them in Sanhok is incredibly difficult because all the teams, we have already established the fact that they are pretty aggressive. They like taking fights. So Sanhok is going to be full of action. And don't go anywhere. We will return with the forest map and a bunch of bloodshed in a few minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split 2020. This is the semi-finals and this is day 5. I am PC Peasants Gaming and I have Crips as my co-caster right here.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Quite good after that exciting Erangel battle where we saw multiple teams battle it out in Razok. I mean, what a intense bunch of fights we just saw.
Definitely. That was, I think, one of the most entertaining games we have seen. That one and the one yesterday we saw in Milta. I think that was one of the most entertaining fights to see, not just because the action was great, but also because the observing was brilliant. The teams were making amazing tactical decisions, and there were so many storylines going on and building up at the same time, and all of them just come together into one big finale. Oh, that was just perfect.
Yep, and a big shout out to the observers. By the way, we were just messaging them in the group in the break because the observing was completely on point. Well, anyway, the plane path is on the screen right now. It is a Kampong to Hatin plane path, and it's going to be interesting to see where the circle is. Because depending on where the players drop, where the teams drop, the rotations are going to get a little tricky.
I just laughed because I just saw Ketan do a little thing with his hands as he was pretending to be in a plane. I love that. Either way, let's take a look at the map. I'm excited to see some bootcamp fights because unfortunately, over the last few games of Sanhok, we have not seen an early game bootcamp fight. Why?
Yeah.
Why is that happening? Why do we not see bootcamp action? That's just unfair. You're supposed to see bootcamp action at the start.
I mean, we might, because we do see elements sort of taking bootcamp and Fnatic. I'm not sure. Oh, but the circle is a mainland island circle, so that's probably good for teams like M40, Tamil, Celts, AIM Gaming. But teams like Revenge, Marco, 7 Seas, Lifecraft, Mumba, they're all gonna have to rotate in for the final circle.
Yeah, and speaking of Revenge, they have raid very far away from the rest of their team, and we already have the first knock on our screen, or should I say the mini screen. It is AIM Gaming who have claimed that kill onto Mogambo from Team Power. Now keep in mind, both these teams are split up. AIM Gaming is playing away from its members, and so is Team Power. And Fnatic is using the same approach. So there might be a 3-way battle, but not between 3 teams, just individual members of 3 teams, which is a whole different storm.
You know, I'm also wondering why Mayhem keeps dropping at docks. Like, why the hell do they always drop at the the farthest location ever? Because their rotations have always been shite in Sanhok, and it is always going to be a long rotation from docks.
Yeah, but it is also one of the safest places to go. The only time we actually saw Mayhem take losses over there was when they made some horrible mistakes and they lost 3 of their members early. Yeah. I don't even remember which team was the one that did that to him. Was it AIM?
It was Genocide.
It was Genocide who committed genocide upon Team Mayhem in docks. But that was just one game. I don't think it's happened after that.
No, it hasn't. Like, they have had the safest draws, but not the greatest rotates. But anyway, we've got Scout and Oace, the poster boys of PUBG Mobile, on the screen right now. And Zoom Boom has no idea what is in store for him. In the next few seconds, Zoom Boom is going to be facing off against some of India's best players. Let's see what happens here.
He gets the jump onto them, but he lost his element of surprise. Now they know exactly where he is, and Scout shuts the door on him because he wants to, reposition and go in from somewhere else. The nade is being cooked, and he tosses it. I don't think it will connect, but now it's bottom enough time to surround Zoom Boom from both the sides. Always nades him in the face, and Zoom Boom knocks him out. He catches Oace with his pants down. Scout and him both are on low HP, but Scout will get the better of him. He switches to first person and finishes him off, but no! Kinzu here for the backup! Kinzu, he saves Zoom Boom from certain death, and even Poro is close by.
Oh my
Oace
god.
and Scout are both gonna die.
Oh my god, Fnatic, Scout and Oace eliminated so early in the fight. What a humiliating destruction of the Fnatic players. And oh, but Ronak is also caught out in the open. He takes a lot of damage. He's going to have to disembark, but Rocky spots him out. The Fnatic players are just having the worst day ever.
Oh man, the first circle hasn't even begun to shrink. The blue zone is not even up. It's not even on the screens. And within the first 4 minutes of the game, Fnatic have lost 3 members.
Yep. Can we get an F in the chat for Fnatic? Meanwhile, Icky Mafia finally spotting out a Team Ecstasy player and getting the knock, but they're not committing. Oh, but Pain gets knocked out by Frosty. What a beautiful trade from the Team Ecstasy player. And now they thirst him as well. So, yeah, things are not looking great for Icky Mafia either.
Yeah, Icky Mafia, at least they have some cover inside those houses. And at least the rest of the team is close by, right? It's not like they're playing solo and very far away from each other. They have some element of team play right there. Zeref is behind the rocks. He's trying to get an angle onto Frosty OP because he knows that all the members of Ecstasy are split up. Well, at least relatively split up as compared to Fnatic. Either way, the nade does come in. It's not going to do anything. It just tickles them a bit. But they know Sahil and Unreal are inside that house. Frosty is the only element of surprise that they actually have. And if Frosty catches Zeref, then Icky Mafia is pretty much done for over here.
Well, Team Ecstasy is not going to want to push. They don't have too many heals. And look at Unreal's level 1. It's already been cracked. So they're going to want to take it really slow. So we will see that fight eventually pan out. In the meantime, we have a beautiful AUG dropping not too far from Team M40. M40 actually, we saw some great performance from them.
What? I think the airdrop got stuck in a tree.
Oh, GG. Icky Mafia's Mighty gets a nice spray down on the Team Ecstasy player. But Unreal's still alive and well. He's going to have to bandage up. They're not changing. They're not doing any rotations. Icky Mafia typically plays Sanhok quite well. And they are historically known to get a decent number of frags. But it was just not Pain's day. And that nade perfectly lands on Frosty. But he's got the med kit, so he's going to quickly heal up. But will Zeref's quick second nade do the damage? He cooks it perfectly. The nade is going to... Oh, but Frosty manages to get... Oh, he gets chunked by it. But he manages to rotate out of the zone of the nade. Now it's Frosty's turn. And Frosty throws a nade at Zeref. Boom. Oh my god! What a beautiful nade. And Venom finishing off Zeref. I like how Team Ecstasy turned the battle. But Evo got Unreal on his crosshairs and he sprays him down. He's going to go for the thirst. Finishing off Unreal as quickly as possible and then disengaging. Very cheeky.
Yeah. Fnatic Ash, the last remaining player, was trying to engage with Gabbar. He did knock out Gabbar's teammate, but he will be instantly returned fire upon. And Fnatic are now out. They're the first team to get eliminated in Sanhok, and that's a bad start.
Yeah.
Icky Mafia too. They're not having the best time either, so they probably will join Fnatic soon enough. But Mighty and New Nike are close by, so I guess they can trade each other off. And hopefully Team Ecstasy don't go hunting for them. Either way, we saw VSGCrawlers. They got 1 kill and they backed off. They did not want to continue watching into this fight. They just leave these teams alone and now they're on some completely different part of the map.
Yep.
You see them in the background and they're far away.
Very smart. Very smart. I don't think VSGCrawlers, we give them enough credit because this team is all about those opportunistic kills. They are quite the king of the third party, in my opinion, especially in Sanhok. We've seen some very sneaky kill steals from the VSG players, especially in Sanhok. But I would direct the viewers' attention to the map on the top right hand corner of the screen. M40's moving into the circle. TeamTamilas also going for, I believe, the airdrop. But TeamElves' roster has changed once again. It looks like Atanki is playing in instead of
Illusion?
Illusion, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. That's one of the roster changes that I have been looking forward to. Either way, You did mention that VSGCrawlers are the king of third party. I would like to modify that statement. They're the king of the safe third party. You see, whenever they go for the third party, they don't always commit to the fight. They just
No,
take a
no.
kill. All right, we're happy, and then they go away.
Yeah, they're regular hitmen. They just take that snipe shot or that tap with the M4 or whatever. They get the kill steal on a knocked player and then they get out. But in this case, of course, they knocked Unreal, finished him off, and then they disengaged. But we're back to Team Ecstasy and Iki Mafia on the screen, and hopefully we will see some action real soon. The Groza. This Groza is not going to fall on a tree, hopefully.
I mean, it's also towards the northern part of the map, and we saw the circle a few seconds ago. I don't think any team is close to that. Although if a team does decide to go for this airdrop, they'll get it pretty much for free because nobody is near it.
Yep. Anyway, let's see what these teams have in mind for each other. Iki Mafia now 2-man down. Have to worry about Team Ecstasy, and it looks like Team Ecstasy is going to want to finish this fight, just like Master Chief. And that's a Halo reference. Only the kiddies will not understand what I'm talking about. And the circle has changed finally. Top right hand corner of the screen again. It is a Paradise circle with Team Tamil in the center of it, with M40 not too far away.
Yeah. I don't know how much longer this fight between Iki Mafia and Ecstasy is gonna drag on. Are they ever gonna move? Are they ever gonna finish each other off, or does Team Ecstasy just run out of patience and moves away?
Well, they're going for the
like
loot.
They're moving away.
Yeah, they've smoked out. They've already rotated quite a bit. They will try to maybe gatekeep Iki Mafia as they move into the circle. Let's see what's happening here. ELMT Esports also moving into the circle as the map shows. 7 Seas Esports going for the far north rotate via the Hatin river, whatever, break. Lifecraft taking the bridge, the western bridge, the Hatin bridge, and yeah, Team Ecstasy slowly making their way in.
Cow is unclaimed. I guess some team could get in there and get some decent loot. Not a lot of teams got to finish off their looting phase, especially the teams that dropped in the Hatin Island and the Ruins Island. So Cow is unclaimed. You can go ahead and continue looting. And there's a Groza very close to that place. So
Yeah, Cow is definitely the place to be right now. But we've got VSGCrawlers and AIM Gaming near each other. VSGCrawlers are completely like snaking this in the spirit of Sanhok.
And Team Ecstasy, the team that they initially took a kill on, they are back. They are very close to VSGCrawlers, and they just entered the circle. Now, I know that Ecstasy is looking to gatekeep Team Iki Mafia out of this, but I don't think they realize that VSGCrawlers are also close by. They are a hill apart, which means if Evo manages to move a little bit towards the left-hand side of the screen, he might spot out Team Ecstasy. But I think they're well out of sight by now.
All right,
They didn't stop right there.
We didn't talk about Marcos and Mayhem, so let's talk about them for a second. Mayhem's already rotated from the docks all the way to Camp Bravo, so they're pretty much in the circle. We see Revenge Esports moving in on M40, so that's going to be a fight. The shots are already being fired, I believe. Yep, and here we go. We have Revenge Esports on the screen right now. Raid takes a chunk of damage, so he falls back. Meanwhile, Tamil gets the knock on TeamElves' MJ. Here we go, Mr. Spray living up to his name yet again, spraying down MJ from TeamElves.
Yeah, but MJ, I think he has a safe passage to his teammate Atanki. You drop one smoke over there, and that should be enough. And the smoke comes out. It perfectly covers the gap in between the two rocks, and Atanki will safely be able to go towards MJ. Either way, what does Mr. Spray do now? They know that he's in that little sniper tower place, but his teammates are not over there, so his teammates are gonna have to somehow play around the information that Mr. Spray has just given away. But no, they have to be careful as Gabbar from Team Elements walks in.
Yes, Gabbar and Team Elements in general were not too far away, and they heard the shots. And this is going to be a bad situation for TeamElves, because now they are caught in between two. Where was that nade aimed at? Anyway, it looks like Mr. Spray completely messed up that nade. But yeah, it looks like Atanki and his friends need to worry about ELMT Esports, because ELMT Esports heard the gunshots and they're going to want to third party this.
And elements are coming out of Paradise, which has one of the best loots in the game. So element are armed to the teeth.
Yep, and Ross going it. Yep, he gets a couple of shots in. Gubber's going to remember that as he moves away into a different line of sight. But Mr. Spray with the nades, with the terrible nades. I'm not really sure what he's trying to do here, but he's definitely keeping Team Cells at bay with those nades and keeping them from pushing.
Yeah, but we just saw the circle on our screens a few seconds ago, and the circle has moved towards Paradise. It's in center. Elements can stay there and being, enjoying the center circle, but Mayhem, they are outside the zone and they're pushing into Team M40. Now they spotted them. I think they'll try to go around Team M40 instead of fighting them right now. But M40 is pretty isolated, so if Mayhem do engage with them, they should be able to, walk away.
Yeah, and we just lost your audio right there. But anyway, Mayhem is definitely outside the circle. The circle, for those of you who missed it, has pushed to a center circle around Paradise, and now Mayhem will have to push through M40 or rotate a little bit northeast and maybe rotate around M40. But not to worry, Revenge Esports also is not too far away from the rest of the teams, I believe. Yeah, they're south of M40 and a stone's throw away from AIM Gaming. So we're going to probably see some fights between AIM and Revenge, M40 and Believe, M40 and Mayhem. And Marcos Gaming are now pushing in on the Revenge Esports location as well. Even UMExRxN and VSGCrawlers are south of the circle, are slowly making their way in.
Yeah, so that's going to be a very clustered east hand circle. A lot of teams contesting for cover, contesting for compounds. And on our screens, we have Revenge at this point, who just went out of our screen. M40 get a nice free airdrop. That's interesting. And what did they get out of this?
Well, M40 is going to want to get some loot. I do believe that was the Groza, if I'm not mistaken. And they are slowly making their way in. But it looks like Ruthless heard Believe and Believe heard Ruth. They both hit the deck. So they're getting ready for this firefight. And Believe, I'm sure, has already given the information to his teammates. So Mayhem's decided to maybe rotate from the north. Meanwhile, VSGCrawlers are in a fight with full power. They've got a couple of knocks, and M40 finally taking the fight to Mayhem as well. VSGCrawler Evo heals up, and it is UMExRxN versus VSGCrawlers. Goldblade already knocked, and Craw going for a far rotate, far flank, to maybe get a drop on Bhishma. Evo gets the nade ready. Kiki also throws a nade, but takes a lot of damage for that peak right there. And the nade continues to damage Goldblade. And Goldblade's finally out. Avi takes him out quickly. And as usual, CG with the flank, getting the knock on Bhishma as well. That's 2 players down for UMExRxN. And Bhishma also gets thirsted. It is up to Kiki. Kiki is the last man standing, actually. It's a 4v1 situation.
But how much can he possibly do over here?
Yep, it looks like Kiki is going to have to either clutch or get kicked from the server. The nade goes way over Kiki. But that second nade definitely chunks him quite a bit. VSG is looking to finish this fight as quickly as possible so that they can get that loot. Again, that nade goes too far. Kiki sprays and he misses, and HB gets the knock. UMExRxN eliminated.
Meanwhile, the other fight that we were seeing, M40 versus Mayhem, that also has come to a bit of a standstill. As we see most of the players of Believe, most of the players of Mayhem actually, they are nicely safe and sound. We saw M40's Nexus OP and Carnage on our screens. We have Rival as well. So these teams have decided to disengage. Alright then. I guess they don't want to finish the fight.
Well, we've got Element, of course, in Paradise as Lifecraft and 7Seas push them both. So we're going to see some fights there. Meanwhile, Team Venom, what a beautiful spray down on Avi. So it's Team Ecstasy versus VSGCrawlers now. VSGCrawlers made a lot of sound getting into the circle, of course, eliminating UMExRxN. And we also see Frost of Team Element fighting it out in Paradise. So, yeah, we've got multiple fights on our hand right now.
Definitely. VSGCrawlers already knocked out one of the players of Ecstasy. Earlier, we saw Unreal was taken down by VSG in a very opportunistic third party. This time, Team Ecstasy have the circle, and VSG are the ones who have to push in.
Yep.
So the tables are turned.
Yep.
Avi tries to make a risky push. He takes a bit of damage, but makes it to the other rocks safely.
Venom
And he's
gets
gonna
the
have to
knock.
go for a lot of these. Venom once again knocks out. It's H. No, I just stopped. What?
Okay.
My mic is giving me a lot of issues today. We'll figure it out later on after this game.
Yeah.
Either way, the nades, they continue to go ahead and entertain us as M40 starts engaging on a completely other team on the other side of the map. VSG pushing in closer to Team Ecstasy. And do they connect the nades? They have been cooked enough, but don't do enough damage.
Yep. We've got VSGCrawlers still pretty much in the fight. One man down, but nevertheless, they are going to push Team Ecstasy. Sahil going for the bandage right now, but oh, that nade chunks him quite a bit, and he decides to first aid anyway. RV also not wanting to step out because Marcos Gaming is harassing them. Pansing gets the knock on Rocky with a nade. So it looks like Marcos Gaming and AIM Gaming are finally battling it out. Let's see what happens here. Oh, but Blazy chiming in on the VSGCrawler fight, knocking out CG. Here we go. Sahil gets a couple of shots in, but doesn't manage it. He's taking a lot of damage. CG is almost going to finish him off. Sahil going for the bandage, but the molly is going to come out very soon. And nope, no, it's not. That was a terrible molly. Team Ecstasy's Frosty trying to help out Sahil. He has the angle on the door.
In.
Yep. And it's still a close fight between Team VSG and... Oh, but never mind. Sahil gets peeked again by CG, gets knocked, and now Frosty needs to go for the trade here. CG and RV jump out really quick. Frosty sees him, but he gets sprayed down. Oh my god, CG with the trade. And it's going to be a quick elimination for the Team Ecstasy players. Oh, but Venom spots him out, does a lot of damage to CG. Don't worry, Venom's still alive. He's not going to let the VSG players thirst any of his teammates just yet. They know he's there. Yeah. But what a knock from Venom. He finishes off RV. Brilliant there, right there, right in front of us. Oh, Venom gets another knock, but finally VSGCrawlers CG gets the trade, and Team Ecstasy has been eliminated. What a fight.
Dead. Even VSG is gonna go out.
Team Ecstasy from the grave, knocking out CG as well, and it's up to HB, the first person to get knocked out in this fight, surviving the fight as he moves slowly into the circle, having to deal with Marcos Gaming as well.
Yeah, but Marcos were third-partying brilliantly into that fight. Let's see if they can continue doing so, as most of their teammates, they roll into the Paradise Resort edges in those vehicles. Even CG from VSGCrawlers gets knocked out by the play zone, so they are losing their members really, really fast. Element has a nade cooked in, but...
I do believe we have lost the feed, but we will be right back. And we are right back. That was a quick disconnection and reconnection. Anyway, never mind.
Quick fix.
Iki Mafia eliminated while we had a little bit of a server issue. And so is Full Power, but it looks like we still got 10 teams. And Revenge Esports knocked out as well. We just lost 3 teams. Iki Mafia, Revenge, and Cells. Sorry, Team Ecstasy.
Yeah, that was a bit confusing. Either way, Cells, they are trying to go outside the zone and finishing off the other teams as they move in. Rocks gets a knock onto Ducky as well, and he finishes him off. Element, they are meanwhile taking the fights with Lifecraft. So there's 2 fights happening at the same time. And in the middle of all that, VSGCrawlers get eliminated. Max Cash, he is knocked out. Marcos Gaming in a bit. He's trying to push, but Life...
Yep, and 7C is also still pretty much in the circle. Blazy gets a knock on Team Tamil. Cells getting a knock on Raven as well. 7C is finishing off Mayhem's Shadow. Oh my god, it's chaos as Team Cells needs to push into the circle. 7C is still defending their position in the circle right now, but Team Tamil gets eliminated finally by, not sure who. It's just crazy that the kill feeds are moving as fast as we'd hope. Now it's Marcos Gaming versus 7Seas Esports. Pansing making a lot of... Oh, but he gets naded out, and Viro probably going for the thirst. The play zone also knocks out the Joth. Pansing knocked out still, but still pretty much in the game. Elements, Frost and Ultron still putting a lot of pressure on Marcos Gaming, and Marcos Gaming are fighting 2 fights, 7Seas and Team Elements. Blazy also taking on TeamElves. We have Marcos Gaming taking on 3 teams simultaneously. Crips?
Blazy, he's trying his best to stay alive and gather information, keeping Cells at bay. And while he's doing that, the rest of his team can finally deal with 7Seas, who are already converging upon them. But it's not going to be easy. Mayhem gets knocked out. Final boss, he gets a knock onto Pansing, and now the trouble begins. It's intensifying even further. Blazy is strapped. There's no way he can help his teammates, and 7Seas want to move in and seize this opportunity. And what a nade! Max Cash, he gets blown apart by Lifecraft Villain.
Yeah.
Oh, this is even more problematic.
Lifecraft, like one player.
Yeah, and Lifecraft has of one player. They're just trying to get as many points as possible. Villain tries to go for the thirst. Is he going to be able to do it? He has to run into the play zone as the blue pushes him inside. But he's far away from safety. He finishes off Max Cash. Even though he might just lose this entire game, he's trying to take as many points as he can. And now going for the heal off. Meanwhile, Viru, he now focuses on Cells. And Atanki, the strongest player, is knocked out. Can they come back from this? Blazy, still prone in the grass. He's trying to no-scope peek them. But I don't think it's going to be effective. It is, in fact. He gets Viru. 420 OP gets the train onto him, but finally, Marcos Gaming have been dealt with, and 7Seas will now eliminate Lifecraft as well. They have a chance of knocking out Cells too, so 7Seas might just end up walking away with 3 team scalps on their belt.
Absolutely, 7Seas on fire. They just have the one man from Team Cells remaining, and they're going to destroy him. 420 going for that kill because he wants that point. As usual, 420 with the aggressive plays. 7Seas Esports fighting multiple fronts. Marcos, Elements, and Team Lifecraft eliminating everybody. 7Seas, what an amazing, decisive victory for them right there.
Yeah, and the funny thing is 7Seas were pretty much non-existent up until the last circle. We did not see them get into a lot of early fights. But as soon as the last few circles came on, they moved in from the other side of Paradise Resort. They first dealt with Team Marcos on the way in, then they finished off Lifecraft 2 and then Cells. And at the same time, we had this one lone member of Element who was trying to be super smart around them, but 7Seas dealt with him too.
Yeah.
So they took a lot of teams down today.
Yeah. Hey, and let's not forget Lifecraft's villain. Like, he got that nade and got that thirst on the Marcos Gaming player. Like, he also healed off and waited for Marcos Gaming to get eliminated. So he actually managed to get a few more points for his team by surviving just a second more than Marcos Gaming. And here we go, final boss, 7Seas MVP of the day. 541 damage, but just 3 kills. So the man dished out quite a few knocks, but only capitalized on 3 of them.
Yeah, that just goes to show how cohesive 7Seas is as a unit. They don't care about kills. They just go ahead and do all the damage they can. They know that the kills are eventually going to end up in their lap later on. And more than the kills, they end up with the chicken dinner. So 7Seas is solidifying their position even further. They're already on a pretty good roll. They've been winning quite a lot of games in the group stages. No, not the group stages, in the semi-finals.
Semis, yeah.
It's just perfect.
Even Erangel, like, Umumba came first, but 7Seas came second. So
yeah,
this is a good day for 7Seas, coming in second in the first match, winning the second match. So you can see that they're already pumped and they're killing it. So let's see what happens. But let's talk about Fnatic for a second. What the hell? They just got decimated so early on in the map.
Yeah, that's one of the times when splitting up actually ends up causing more problems for you than giving you more advantages. It's always a risk, and Fnatic always are willing to take that risk. The only difference is this time they made a bunch of mistakes, which they don't usually do. Splitting up is not a mistake for Fnatic, but this time they did. And
Yeah.
that's how we see them getting eliminated in the very first place.
Anyway, with the top 5 players on the screen right now, Marcos Gaming, the dude leading with 6 kills, Villain from Lifecraft with 4 kills, CG from VSGCrawlers with 4 kills, Final Boss with 3 kills, and TeamElves is Red with 3 kills. But the damage dealer of the day was, weirdly enough, Lifecraft's solo clutch player, Villain, with 626 damage. So he's going to be feeling pretty good about himself. He also got his team those position points right above Marcos Gaming. Of course, Marcos Gaming really fragged out in Sanhok, just like they generally do. And we even predicted it. I did say Marcos Gaming traditionally does well in Sanhok. But hey, let's look at the scoreboard right now. Crips?
Yeah, and you were right. Marcos Gaming, they have done well. They have 11 kills, which is the highest amount of kills in this game. So yes, you were right about their prediction. And unfortunately, Marcos was trapped in between a lot of teams. That's why they are in 3rd place. But it doesn't really matter because they show that they can, they can always outfrag everyone else.
Yeah.
7 Seas has been having a great day. Cells also, they managed to survive long enough to come in 2nd. But in my opinion, the MVP belongs to the most amazingly belongs to Lifecraft because they also get onto 4th place because of that Villain.
Yeah, absolutely. AIM Gaming, again, a team that I predicted to do really well in Sanhok, but I guess my prediction was wrong. They just got the 2 kills and 3 placement points. And Team Ecstasy, hey, we got some decent firefights from Team Ecstasy, but they just got eliminated early on. Along with the other, we saw so many good teams get eliminated early on. Fnatic, Revenge, UMExRxN. I mean, these are good teams that generally frag out. But I guess Sanhok is just not their map. And Fnatic generally also doesn't perform well in Sanhok, in Sanhok in general, you know?
I mean, Fnatic, they are pretty much the same in every map, in my opinion. It's just sometimes if the split approach works, then they get into the top 3 guaranteed, or they get knocked out in the very start of the game. It's just always on the extremes. There's no in between for Fnatic.
Let's talk about Marcos Gaming for a second. Like, yes, okay, Lifecraft managed to steal that position point from them, but Marcos Gaming was in multiple fights there, and all their team players were actually like holding their grounds till the end. Of course, when they got overwhelmed, they were fighting Element, they were fighting 7 Seas, they were fighting Cells, and they did rack up a decent bunch of kills. So big shout out to the Marcos players as well. Clearly their aggression is just working out for them, at least if not from a position standpoint, at least from a kill standpoint. So 11 kills, shout out to them, well done. Marcos Gaming, of course, still on the podium place with 91 kills, almost 100, ladies and gentlemen, 195 points. 7 Seas Esports, of course, moving up the ladder with 58 kills, 161 points. They are just one chicken dinner away from actually catching up to Marcos Gaming if Marcos doesn't perform. Megastars drop to 7 Seas Esports, but then they're not playing today, so that's okay. ELMT Esports still firmly in the 4th position. Haven't seen too many changes from them, so they really need to step up their game. But UMExRxN going down a notch, which is surprising. Orange Rock, of course, also going down, but they're not playing today. And Fnatic still in the top 8, but no chicken dinner and 50 kills. So Fnatic really needs to win a couple of chicken dinners. But now that Scout OP is back and Paritosh has been benched, we might actually see some magic from the Fnatic players. Unlike the Sanhok performance where they got eliminated first, I believe.
Yeah, they were eliminated first.
Yeah.
Either way, I want to direct your attention to 7 Seas. If you notice, they have 2nd place, but with only 10 games played. Which means if they end up playing all the games, if they end up, playing the 14 games like Marcos has, I think they have a chance to overtake Marcos as well.
Yeah. That's actually a very good point you've made. 10 matches and in 2nd place and just 30 points below Marcos Gaming. 7 Seas is clearly the strongest contender for 1st place, and in general they have had the best performance in the semifinals so far.
Yeah. VSGCrawlers on 9th, Godlike on 10th. It's funny because both these teams have extremely contrasting playstyles. VSGCrawlers, we did point out that in this game they are the kings of safe 3rd party.
Yeah.
And then Godlike is the king of rushing. They don't care about position points, and the only time I've seen Godlike actually play passive was when they had like a 4v1 situation. So that's surprising. Godlike, they're still on the 10th place even after playing carefree rush style, so I'm happy for them. Celts, they continue performing well, and even though we haven't seen any breakout performances from them, they are on the 11th place with only 10 matches played, so they have potential to go higher.
Speaking of 10 matches, even Lifecraft finally out of the danger zone and in the safe zone of the top 16 standings with 10 matches played, but 1 chicken dinner to their name. So all they have to do is keep up the pressure, and maybe Lifecraft will be back in the top 16, preferably in a safer position where they can make it to the finals. But Mayhem, unfortunately, 10 matches played, just 25 kills. Mayhem has been disappointing. They're slowly climbing up the ladders, but there's a long way to go for these teams.
Definitely, and after we saw Mayhem end up in the top 3 in group stages, it's kind of jarring to see them in the bottom 18. So maybe Mayhem, even, yeah, sure, they have less number of matches played, so they can come back later on, but it's just uncharacteristic of them to be over here. Meanwhile, Icky Mafia, they continue to slip and slide downwards. Now, Icky Mafia, it's not like they've been playing bad, but sometimes they do get caught out, and the teams do manage to bamboozle them. Sometimes they just outfrag everyone else, so it's kind of like a mixed feeling for Icky Mafia, and this inconsistency might just come and punish them later on.
Interesting. Yes, JSL team -40. These teams are just not able to catch up. They don't have the kills, especially Full Power has played 14 matches. Very disappointing performance from them. Well, they did make it to the semis, but they just about made it to the semis, and they haven't been having the greatest semis so far. So they are in danger of getting eliminated. All these teams are actually. So yeah, guys, good luck. We've got just 2 more days left. We're already halfway through day 5. We have 1 more day left, and then it's the finals.
Yep, and the finals are gonna be an absolute blast, quite literally. Surprising thing is we haven't seen any teams commit any hilarious mistakes today like we saw in the days before this, and I hope this continues, because as the competition gets more intense, the room for error, it just becomes zero. You shouldn't be having those problems in the first place. Either way, Sanhok was a game full of kills. The next one is gonna be an interesting mix of positioning, strategy, and kills, as Vikendi is about to come up next. But before we go to Vikendi, let's take a look at who are the players who have performed really well today. It's the dude. He breached it. He breached it, Rohit. He breached the 30 kill mark.
Yep, finally the dude showing everybody that he is the dude. 30 kills, matching Gabbar's performance in the group stages as well. Revenge Esports not too far behind, 27 kills. So we can actually see these players like battle it out for the first place of the kill leader scoreboard. 420 OP not too far away either from 7Seas Esports. Again, 7Seas Esports is on fire, so I'm not surprised. Manti OP with 25 kills from Team Tamil, and of course Pansing again from Marcos Gaming with 23 kills. Again in 6th place, Marcos Gaming's Max Cash with 22 kills. Team Insane still in the game with 21 kills with Naruto. But then let's not forget the TeamElves players, Prince and Ultra, 21 each. Let's see if TeamElves can come back in the day 5 of the semifinals. And finally, Team Mega Swag, who's not playing today, with 20 kills coming in position 10.
Yeah, I think Mega Swag is gonna lose his position soon, because some of the other players who are playing today will probably steal it. Even then, Mega have a good amount of points, and they should be in the top 8 regardless of whatever happens. They've amassed enough points to stay up there. Either way, 7Seas and Yumumba, both these teams, the way they have been playing, I expect better performances from them in Vikendi. We know for a fact that Yumumba's strongest map is Vikendi. So I'm hoping that these teams do well. Which teams are you looking for, Rohan?
My money is going to be on Marcos Gaming and 7Seas Esports. I think these 2 teams are consistently performing. But hey, VSGCrawlers and Mayhem traditionally do pretty well in Miramar. So you never know. And here we go. We have ELMT Esports and Yumumba on the screen right now, head to head. Take it away, Crips. What do you think?
Well, Element definitely have more kills than UMExRxN. That's obvious. More than, I mean, it's not even about the games that they've played or not. We generally do see UMExRxN step into the fights only during the later phases of the game. They hardly ever have any early game fights. Unless other teams challenge them, they don't really take the fights. And Elements, on the other hand, they have a knack of taking fights whenever there's an opportunity. So they don't shy away from fights.
Yeah.
Either way,
They're also dishing a lot of damage. I mean,
Yeah.
13.5k damage is quite a lot. And like ELMT Esports, generally with the third parties, they tend to win. But yeah, they were a little caught out in Sanhok between 7Cs and Marcos, and then they also had to worry about Lifecraft. So they were not in the greatest position, taking fights on multiple fronts. So I'm not surprised they choked. But let's hope that they have a better position in Miramar.
I'm not sure if it's Miramar because we have Vikendi today. Either way, Miramar and Vikendi are kind of similar because of one thing. There's hardly any potential to go prone in there. So that's I think one of the best parts because you won't have any snake action and we will just have teams strong arming and facing each other bravely. Don't go anywhere. We will be back with Vikendi really, really soon. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to PUBG Mobile Club Open. This is the Indian qualifiers semi-finals, and this is day 5. For those of you who are wondering, we are not the two gentlemen on screen, K18 and Krat, who seem to be arguing about something. I'm going to ask them about what later on. But my name is Crips, and joining me is PC Peasants. We are the English casters, and on your on your screen, are two beautiful gentlemen who are doing the Hindi desk of the same tournament. Today, Group A and Group C are facing off, and we've already seen two amazing maps. Erangel and Sanhok are already over, and now we have Vikendi coming up next. Now, Team Mumba and Team Lifecraft, they did pretty well in these few games. 7 Seas is also on fire. Marcos Gaming almost always continue to deliver, so I'm expecting good stuff from these teams in the upcoming map. But keep in mind that Vikendi is a map which relies heavily on compound control and rotation, two concepts which Fnatic are really strong in. Aside from Fnatic, who seem to be the obvious favorites to win the tournament, they haven't really been doing well, which is fine. It's PUBG. You can't always be guaranteed to perform well. That's what the whole game is. You cannot have any guarantees. But Team Mayhem also might just start coming back into this game now. Mayhem, they did have an amazing group stage. Unfortunately, did not really have the best of semifinals. Did Ketan just wipe a bun? Did he just wipe sweat from his bro? Wow. That shows it, ladies and gentlemen. That shows how heated up and how fiery these games are. But Vikendi is going to be quite the opposite. Obviously, it's the most chilly, frigid map. Let's see what it has in store for us. Either way, which map do you guys like seeing the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you haven't done so already, like this video and subscribe to the channel for more amazing PUBG Mobile content. Either way, let's take it live, ladies and gentlemen. The plane is now starting to fly over Vikendi, and it is heavily skewed towards the north. Starts at Dobromaisto, ends over Cosmodrome, which means the southern parts of the map are gonna be difficult to get to. Let's see who gets there. I also want to see a lot of teams go to Dino Park because none of the teams usually do drop Dino Park, which is sad. It's a pretty cool place. 7 Seas safe in Dobromaisto, nobody else challenging them. Team Marcos, I think they're heading towards Creatures. Meanwhile, M40 are gonna be hot dropping over Zabwa and the neighboring areas of Cosmodrome like they almost always do. Fnatic heading towards Villa. Jesus Christ, what is that circle? Yuck. Yuck, that's an absolutely disgusting circle. Half of it is in the water. There's barely any playroom available. 7 Seas, Marcos, Aim Gaming, Elements are in the circle already. VSGCrawlers are spreading out inside the circle. Lifecraft is taking position in Moatra, Revenge in Vihar. And wait, Ecstasy is also here. So we will see this very early fight. Sahil 2K from Ecstasy very close to the members of Team Lifecraft. None of these teams have a good amount of loot. Sahil, he doesn't even have any armor, just an M4, but he does manage to get one knock. No! He does down Noob, but Exotic with the AK-47 gets him instead, and I don't think Venom will be fast enough to revive him. Sahil is most likely gonna die on this one, but no, he's safe actually. Sahil manages to make his way to safety as Lifecraft are busy reviving their own player. Now, both these teams have a little brief moment of disengagement. Let's see if they manage to make it past that. Sahil hasn't been revived yet, and I don't think he will even get the chance to be revived as Clowny moves in, has a shotgun in his hands. Frosty OP trying to cover them from the other side of the house, and Venom trying to get that third-person peek. It's not successful. Exotic, he finishes off Sahil, and Team Ecstasy are already at a man disadvantage. Lifecraft, they hear each other. Venom and Exotic both have AKs. Venom with a micro Uzi, actually. He tries to go for a jump shot, but Exotic still kills him. And that's another man down for Team Ecstasy. Frosty OP with the Bison, not really the strongest gun in the game. He doesn't even have all the bullets for this one. This is a very problematic situation for Team Ecstasy. I don't think they're getting out of this. Unreal's already backing away. He's on the other side of the road. There's no way he can come in and help his teammates. Venom dies, Frosty OP disengages, and both the members of Team Ecstasy are running away. Frosty, he was spotted out by Clowny. He took a bit of damage as well. Lifecraft are gonna go ahead and chase him. Somehow, it's up to the not the last one, but the second last remaining player, Unreal, to somehow create a distraction and save his teammate Frosty because he's getting chased. And I don't think they're going to let him walk away. And he's running all the way towards Vihar. Team Revenge is in Vihar, and they're already hearing these gunshots. Both these towns are quite close to each other. If Frosty OP just runs in towards Vihar, he might be out of danger from Team Lifecraft, but he will walk straight into the trap of Team Revenge. And that's just sad. Revenge also definitely heard those gunshots. Do they engage with them? I think that at this point, Frosty will be able to see Ryu from Team Revenge. Obviously, he's a bit far away and he doesn't want to engage in battle just yet. He doesn't want to invite another beast into the party, but he still does it. He doesn't land a single shot. He fires a couple of shots, but misses most of them. Oh, man, that's just unfortunate. And now where does he go? He has nowhere left to go. He's alerted both the teams of his presence, and he has to move outside the circle into some lone compound where he can hopefully get some meds and hopefully reunite with his teammate Unreal, who also is alive. But Unreal is very far away from him. And that's the unfortunate story of Team Ecstasy. Taking 2 early losses and then moving away. Luckily, Team Revenge didn't initiate upon them. Otherwise, Revenge would have been able to pick off the remaining members of Ecstasy as well. Either way, they're making an early rotate. I don't think they needed to rotate in the first place. They just need to get to Dobro Meister. They're still on the edges. Pretty safe. Yep, they're in the safe zone now. Team Marcos, they are safe in creatures. -40 should be able to get to the northern side. The settlements near port, they are up for grabs. But Gorica is going to be one very hot property. A lot of teams are going to be contesting it. Elements and AIM, both of them close to Gorica, with Fnatic coming in just to the south, have entered the zone. Team Umumba are yet to enter the zone. Team Power and TeamTamilas, they are far away in Cosmodrome and Thermo respectively. They have to fight each other on the way in. Fnatic are trying to take a central position as they continue moving in, and they might just run into Iki Mafia soon because they also aren't that far away. Iki Mafia nowhere to be seen on screen. Fnatic took a little... Oh, there they are. Hello. And they are gonna do a drive-by. Do Iki Mafia start firing at them? Do they have the time to come to the edges of the zone? No, Fnatic walk right into it. Okay, then. Things are getting hot and heavy. Pain takes a bit of damage. Ronak, he's trying to use the third person to his advantage, sees that the outer rims are clear, and everyone else from Iki Mafia is on the other side of the compound or inside the buildings. Nobody outside. Ash takes a lot of damage, and he was taking damage from VSGCrawlers, not even Iki Mafia. So Fnatic are now in a lot of hot water. The rest of Fnatic also come up here. Scout, Ronak, Waze, Ash, all of them ready. Mighty close to them inside that house. Probably just looking for information, and if he goes for a nade, it won't connect because Fnatic are on the other side of this house. And Scout Hopi, similar to his name, laying down covering smoke so that he can get closer to his opponent. Mighty, he's in first person. I think he should be able to spot out Scout if he goes for the third person peek, but the nade is perfect. Scout Hopi now uses this chance. Oasis is already moving into the house. They were having the backup from Zeref as they try to cover and prevent Team Fnatic from entering that house. But Zeref was a bit too late.
Yep.
And Fnatic are already in a man advantage.
So what have I missed, Crips, in the last few minutes of the match?
Not much. Just Ecstasy losing a couple of players. And now we have this fight, but you didn't miss any of it. It just started. Either way. It's going to be a long, dragged-out one because Iki Mafia usually like to drag out these fights and they take it very, very slowly. Scout Topi on top of the house should be able to spot him out. And he does! He knocks out Pain, and that's exactly what they needed. Now, here's the thing. Iki Mafia always have these players near the staircases that prevent other enemy teams from pushing in. Zeref tried to connect a few shots, but he misses. And Waze is also a bit low, but it doesn't matter. Ronak with the AK should be able to take care of him. And Fnatic haven't lost a single player yet.
Absolutely. Fnatic just decimating Iki Mafia. That was such a quick push from them. They were very much in control of the situation, and they just didn't let Icky Mafia make any plays against them.
Yeah, and the best part is they dealt with pain, which is, I'm not gonna lie, he's a pain in the neck because he was holding the stairs. Destro, he gets the kill onto Mogambo, and Kinzu won't be able to do anything against it. But yeah, coming back to my previous point, the fact that Scout was able to get on top of that house and kill the player who was near the stairs, that's what enabled Fnatic to go in for the push.
Yep.
Yumumba closing in on Team Power. Who do you think is gonna come out on top of this one?
Definitely UMExRxN. I mean, UMExRxN has always played consistently well in the semifinals. They're taking a lot of damage, but it's a 4v1. Oh my god, Bhishma gets knocked by Kinzu. What a beautiful play by Kinzu, but it does not work out for him, and he's quickly eliminated. Meanwhile, the rest of Full Power coming in. The cavalry has arrived, but not for much, as Zoom gets sprayed down, and Podo is also quickly eliminated, and that is the end of Full Power, I believe. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
I don't like this. Full Power, they had absolutely no business coming back into this fight. They already lost their 2 players. If you had to back them up, you should have backed them up sooner. And if you come in late, you're just arriving to your own funeral. Maybe they could have just stayed back and, kept their 2 players alive and hopefully played towards the last circles of the game.
Absolutely. These guys did not have the rotation there. They should have just probably left Kinzu for the dead and played for position points. But again, Full Power is in the bottom of the standings as well, and maybe at this point they're just feeling demoralized.
Probably. I mean, if the backup was supposed to arrive, it should have arrived a lot sooner. Either way, I think they went in just to take the kills because they desperately need them. Didn't work out. Doesn't matter. We have Goroka on the screen, which is going to be one of the hottest contested towns. The circle is absolutely unfair in this one. Look at that. Half of the circle is in the water, and barely 30-40%, not even 40%, barely 30% of the map is available to play.
Yep, not the greatest circle indeed. And we have a lot of teams, of course, in Dobro. Marcos Gaming, 7Cs are comfortably there. We've got Team 12, which is Team Ecstasy. Fnatic also playing a very central position. Fnatic may be trying to go for the zone prediction. Even VSGCrawlers, they're hoping that the circle moves a little bit to the east instead of the west. So let's see how the circle plays out for all these teams as TeamElves pours in from the north into the play zone.
Whichever team controls Dobromaisto will have the best position in this game. Fnatic are just barely outside of Dobromaisto. They're trying to go for a pincer position where they can get the kills onto all the teams that are rotating inside. Because let's be honest, you look at the circle and it's pretty obvious. Half of it is in the water. The final few circles will be in Dobromaisto. Or if not Dobromaisto, some settlement near the edges of the water. And most of the airdrops are going to be unclaimed in this one because they will all go in the water. Either way, M40 are starting to fight with TeamElves. At the same time, Ecstasy, the few remaining players are engaged with 7Cs. M40, though, they have 2 players pinned down behind that rock. And they have a bunch of M40 teammates on top of the hill as well. So they are going in to flank them already. Ruthless, as you can see, he should be able to get the angle onto Red and Atanki really, really soon.
And we've got Pansing finally getting a couple of knocks on Nexus' OP. I mean, M40's Nexus OP. And he's going to now regroup to a better position. Ronak, meanwhile, making quick work of Shadow from Mayhem. We're back to Pansing right now. Pansing tries to survey the area. Does he spot Celsius rocks in the water?
I don't think so.
I don't
He wouldn't even
so.
consider someone would be in the water.
Yeah, but Team Celsius Rock going for the position as usual. Nexus OP is healed up. So it wasn't a knock, it was just a lot of health and a lot of damage. Yeah, let's see how this plays out. And I'm interested to see where the circle goes. Nexus OP is like, nope. And he rotates out of there, regrouping with his teammates.
M40 had Cells pinned in a really bad position. We saw the wonderful flank from Ruthless. and he was able to finish off the other few players. That's why Cell's last remaining player, he just went into the water. Half the half the play zone is in the water, so he can just stay there forever. Meanwhile, Fnatic, oh no, aim make a rough landing straight into the crosses of Fnatic, and most of them are very low on HP. The car itself might just blow up, and Ipman finally gets down. Ducky explodes in a ball of fury, but it's actually 7Cs who steal the kill away. Zigsaw just stole the kill away onto Ducky, and Fnatic now, after the kills were stolen away, they decide, alright, 7Cs are in our process. But wait a second, even Ecstasy, they're engaging with 7Cs in Dobromeister. This is a three-way battle. 7Cs is trapped in between them both.
Yep, 7Cs is now going to first finish off Team Ecstasy and then turn their eyes onto Fnatic. They know exactly where Fnatic is, and all they have to do is figure out if they can finish off Team Ecstasy. Not sure what Unreal is doing there, but final boss, I think, fell and got knocked.
I mean, he fell from the first floor. I guess he would have been really low on HP in order to, fall down and die from a spot like that.
Yeah. But that distracted their push, and now Team Ecstasy is going to take the boat, probably. Yep, looks like he is surveying the boat, and he's waiting for Frosty OP to maybe make his way to him. Not sure.
Yeah, but they end up pinned to the edges of Dobro, and that doesn't leave a lot of room for them to move around. Either way, the teams that have to be worrying about moving around is VSGCrawlers and Elements, and CG spotted him, gets the knock onto Ultron. Even Prince is down. This is the perfect time to move in. If CG can just jump over this little edge of the roof, he will be able to see most of Team Elements reviving each other.
Indeed. Let's see what happens here as... Oh, never mind. CG spots out Ultron, gets the thirst on him. Elements losing 2 players already. Prince also dangerously low. And bleeding out. I wonder what Frost and Gubber have in mind.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, it's UMEmba versus M40. Now, UMEmba have one of their players away from them. He's trying to keep a tab onto some other team that we can't see on our screens right now. But Cell's Rock is also nearby. He's just trying to survive. He did see M40 engage in a battle just a few moments ago, and now they're in hot water again.
Indeed. VSGCrawlers still keeping the pressure up on Element. They have an idea where Gubber is. But meanwhile, Raven, with the snipe. Good night, Destro, as UMEmba takes some serious damage from the Tamil players. Team Tamil are playing an extremely interesting game. They're just going aggressive, trying to just get pot shots at teams. UMEmba Bhishma hitting the deck, does not want to lose his head to the Team Tamil snipers.
Yeah, but at this point, he's far away from his team, and he just has to keep an eye on Team M40. Meanwhile, UMEmba, they are now worried and deciding about what to do with TeamTamilas. TeamTamilas just took a little pot shot and walked away. They weren't able to push in on them, which is good for Team UMEmba, at least as of now. But still, the advantage is in the favor of M40 because they don't need to move. None of these teams need to move. All of them are comfortable in their circles. And if I'm not wrong, this is the 3rd circle, so it doesn't even impact the game that heavily. The 4th circle is the one, and the 5th one, that those are the circles that really start to change the whole game.
Absolutely. We've got Fnatic pretty much in the circle. So is Marcos. 7Cs, nice and comfy. All the teams mostly have taken the central circles, but Element still at the edge. I wonder who will go for the MK14 in the water. Alright, we've got Bhishma on the screen right now. All 4 players from UMEmba still alive and well, surveying the M40 compound. Maybe they're not going to go for the push just yet. They will just survey them and wait for that circle. And we've got the last man from Team Ecstasy, Unreal, waiting it out, probably going for the position points because, Yep, he has the circle, so he doesn't have to worry. And now it's UMExRxN who's going to have to push M40, and the VSGCrawlers element also need to push in. Meanwhile, AIM Gaming, Rocky and Zeus take a couple of pot shots at Team Tamil. They do manage to get a knock as well.
Yeah, but like I said, Dobromeister is going to turn into a big battlefield, as most of the teams who are already in the city don't need to worry. But teams like Fnatic, who are gatekeeping, now they are going to be super relevant. In fact, wait a second, Fnatic don't want to gatekeep anymore. They know that the final circle is going to be inside the city, so they're just trying to take the high ground. And they're trying to move into Dobromeister, where 7 sees they've already taken the castle position. And from here, they can have vantage point. They start to fire a couple of shots at Fnatic, but doesn't really matter because the fight between Lifecraft and Mayhem has also begun.
I can't believe Mayhem is getting knocked by Lifecraft. I mean, Mayhem is a team that was just owning all the other teams in the group stages, but they have not been performing at all, performing well at all in the semis. And surprisingly, Lifecraft got a knock on them. So let's see how these players survive this rotation. Lifecraft heard Mayhem's vehicle, gets off, maybe tried to take a couple of shots at them, and is falling back. I guess Noob is playing reconnaissance for his teammates.
He saw the rotation path of his opponents, and he's trying to figure out which one of these compounds is safe to take. Obviously, he must have figured out something, because UMExRxN... Okay then, never mind. UMExRxN are trying to crash into the compound of M40. Looks like they finally run out of patience. They have the edge, Cold Blade, spotted out Ruthless, but by the time he connects, Ruthless is safe. They connect a Molotov over there as well, so both of these players have to now run away. Goldblade, he's gonna be downed. M40 is actually coming out on top of this one. Goldblade will be thirsted by Rival's Molotov. He walks right into it. Bhishma trying to go around the compound, trying to get high ground, but while he does so, he is open to TeamTamilas, and they finish off Bhishma. Destro, now he is surprised. He's bamboozled. How on earth did the table turn? They had all the information they needed on M40, but they did not account for TeamTamilas, and I don't think Tamils is gonna sit out of this one. They also want to move in and finish them off. They're already rolling down the hill. Destro, using the third person to his advantage, has an AK, which is devastating in close ranges, and he does manage to get one more knock. Rivals down. Carnage needs to step in right the hell now, but he has some time to heal now, and that's gonna allow Destro to finish off his teammate. Carnage didn't even finish healing. So Destro has clear advantage now, and he's throwing in the nades. I don't think they will connect, but it doesn't really matter. He's done whatever he came to do here. Carnage is the last man left, and UMExRxN have a man advantage over him, so I guess this fight will have to wait for some more time. Meanwhile, VSGCrawlers, they get the better of TeamTamilas. Mr. Spray has been thirsted, and he has the rest of his teammates in his sights. Meanwhile, Team AIM, did they just get completely eliminated?
Yes, they did. AIM Gaming get eliminated, and so did M40s, and now Team Tamil are close to elimination as the VSGCrawlers continue to pound them with their bullets left, right, and center. We've got Evo trying to get an angle on Carry OP and Manti OP. Carry OP, of course, rezzing his teammate, but the blue is now on them, and this is the 5th circle blue, so it is going to definitely hurt them. So VSGCrawlers need to make a decision here. Oh, but Carry OP has a vehicle, and he manages to get out, leaving Manti OP, but never mind. What a beautiful drive-by by Evo from VSGCrawlers. They finish off the Tamil player as they drive away into safety. Striker tried to make a noise about it, but it doesn't matter. VSGCrawlers are long gone.
Oh my god, Kiki just blew up. He walked right into the camp of Pansing from Marcos Gaming. Although his teammate did manage to survive. Fnatic engaging with VSGCrawlers in this compound. They're raining nades upon them, and Ronak gets the knock. No, it's actually the finish off onto Evo. RV is down, CT's down. Fnatic wiped the floor with VSGCrawlers.
Absolutely, Fnatic had the defensive position, and VSGCrawlers was leaving from one fight and from the frying pan into the fire almost with Fnatic I don't blame them. They had to not win that fight. It was just not in their favor. Anyway, we've got Lifecraft Esports finally back in a fight with Element now. Team Cells meanwhile getting eliminated by Marcos Gaming. Looks like the Lifecraft team do have the circle, and so do Element. And now Gubber crawls towards Frost, and Frost will go for the res.
Yeah, but look at this. So many teams have just one player each. Umumba, he just lost Kiki in a fiery ball of explosion. TeamElves, they're down to 1. Ecstasy, we saw him hiding at the edges of Dobromeister. Yeah, Unreal still in the circle somehow. And look at the circle. It's so unfair. Fnatic have, once again, the best position in the game. They can get into Dobromeister very easily towards the edges. 7 Cs, they are safely rotating around the beaches of Dobromeister, which means Fnatic can engage them if they want, but I don't think they'll do so. They'll probably wait and just take a look at the other teams. Revenge is also safe. They have a nice compound to themselves with no other team next to them.
Yeah, and Revenge, well, most of these teams have all 4 players alive and good to go. It's just, never mind, Mumba finally their last player getting eliminated by the Fnatic boys. It is Fnatic now in the safe zone with a successful rotate, and Lifecraft in a 3v2 situation against the ELMT Esports players. Frost throws the molly right now, but the molly does not connect. He throws one more just in case, almost getting noob. And right now Gubber and Frost are trying their best to fight, but meanwhile Unreal caught out by Marcos Gaming. They spotted him, and Team Ecstasy finally eliminated. Unreal just sitting in the corner. Clowny goes for the spray. He gets the knock on Gubber. Beautiful. And now Frosty needs to do something. Does he go for the res? It doesn't make sense. And he gets the knock on Clowny, but he is eliminated finally by Villain.
So I just realized that Team Elements have a player called Frost, and Ecstasy has a player called Frosty.
Yes.
2 Frosts, but both of them are gonna freeze to death. And even Jigsaw, he takes a nice nade to the face.
Yep.
Keep in mind that it's really difficult to throw nades onto this terrace.
Yeah.
And they still manage to connect. Now a Molotov is also there. Luckily, Trigger throws a Molotov of his own so that the remaining players of Marcos Gaming don't push them. But they can obviously go around the sides. Only the stairs have been burned off, so they can keep Marcos Gaming at bay while they manage to revive their teammate.
Ooh.
Final boss, he tries to go for a fancy jump.
Yeah,
Fails it. Instead, he just goes. Yeah, he just goes to the ground instead. Doesn't really matter because they're still safe. All these teams, they can just, you know, chill out wherever they are. They don't need to necessarily engage right now. Marco's in one house. 7 Cs, they're spread out over a bunch of 3 houses. Fnatic have the massive warehouse or garage house or whatever you like to call that place. They have that in the center. But Final Boss is trying to go closer towards Fnatic, and now he comes in contact of Scout. Final Boss takes a bit of damage as well. He is safe, but I think he should disengage at this point for the sake of his own safety.
Yeah, we've got Marcos Gaming, of course, taking up the southernmost house. But the circle has changed again, and only Team 8 Revenge Esports have the circle along with Lifecraft. So Fnatic now need to rotate in and third party. And here we go, the third party starts. Always gets caught out. He takes a shot. And now it is Revenge and Fnatic in a battle. Marcos Gaming meanwhile rotating towards south and going to have to deal with Lifecraft. But Lifecraft is also fighting off Mayhem in the south. Oh, but the nade from Raid takes out Ash immediately. And oh my god, Fnatic also get knocked again. Scout gets the trade on Sonic, but both Ronak and Ash are knocked. Scout needs to now carry his team as both his teammates are getting rezzed by Oasis.
Yeah, Revenge is gatekeeping them. But while that's happening, 7 Cs deploy a wall of smokes on the ground. A literal wall. Look, they must have used at least 5 of them. And now they're coming in to fight Team Revenge. Fnatic just need to hold on for a few more seconds, because Fnatic, they will be at a massive advantage if they just wait for the fight between 7 Cs and Revenge to start. They go around the edges of the wall outside this little warehouse so that they can continue moving in without worrying about the circle. But Ryu is guarding them. Ryu has a nice angle and he should be able to see the players of Fnatic move in. Raid is also here for backup and he finally engages. He does a bunch of damage, but Ryu is also low in HP. Meanwhile, they walk into the trap of Raid. He uses Ryu as bait, and Raid should be able to get a couple of knocks, but he gets knocked himself. That's devastating. Fnatic, despite all odds, are continuing to push in, and they should have never made it this far, but I think they are in the safe zone now, and they don't need to worry because 7 Seas is close by, and they will make their job easier.
Absolutely. 7 Seas will now enter the third party on Revenge Esports. And look at Revenge Esports right now. They're completely sandwiched between two stellar teams. And this is going to be a tough fight for all these Revenge Esports players. Scout OP has decided that it's time to take the position. But what's going to happen here? The shots are being fired. Scout OP pushing in. They get multiple knocks. Oh my god, Ash gets knocked again. Akshay gets a knock on Oasis. This is not looking good for Fnatic. Ronak gets another knock on Sonic. Ronak, another knock on Ryu. Oh my god. Striker getting in with the nade, but Fnatic eliminated. That was an unnecessary push from them, and they paid the price now. 7 Seas comes in to mop it up. Pushing in. Revenge Esports, unfortunately, not able to keep up the heat with two top tier teams pushing them. And Revenge also eliminated. Amazing play from 7 Seas Esports. Now that is the perfect third party.
Definitely. And I was hoping that Fnatic do it. They wait for Team 7 Seas to go in, but that did not happen. Meanwhile, Mayhem is out. TeamTamilas have just one player left, and every other team have all their players alive. Marcos Gaming are spread out over that compound, nice and wide. Meanwhile, we have Team Lifecraft, who is out of the zone. They have just a few players in, so they need to get them inside. Meanwhile, Pansing, he is way out of his comfort zone at this point.
Absolutely. Pansing and Marcos Gaming need to now push in. Now it's Team Tamil who just gets eliminated. We've got 3 teams remaining, all 4 players alive. The perfect last circle for most of these teams. And here we go. Marcos Gaming's Pansing takes a lot of damage from Lifecraft, and he needs to heal up. The mollies get thrown at him, but he is still rezzing himself. Oh, but Exotic tries to connect on the dude. Does not manage to get enough damage in, but that molly is going to prove damaging for Pansing. And he is now... Oh, he barely makes it. He barely makes it. The level 3 helmet and vest definitely helping out Pansing. It is up to Marcos Gaming now. Will they clutch this? Will they win the chicken dinner? 7 Seas also in good form, throwing in all the nades that they can. Smokes, surprisingly.
Yeah, but they need to throw those smokes. They need to cross into the safe zone because they just have one wall for cover. A single nade drops there and they are all going to die in one fell swoop. So they need to deploy the smokes and make their way to safety. I don't think any place is safe right now, as all these players... They have to move in towards one warehouse. You see that 7 Seas, they are pinned in between a rock and a hard place. The smokes will barely provide any cover.
It looks like Final Boss might go for the heal off, because in a couple of minutes, the circle, a couple of seconds, the circle is going to devastate all 3 teams. And it's going to be the teams that have the highest amount of heals who will survive the eventual heal off. But never mind, 420 getting a knock. Finally... on a Lifecraft player, but Clowny gets to retaliate. Lifecraft now taking fights on 2 fronts, not just Pansing, but also the 7 Seas Esports players.
I think all the teams are going for this strategy. Look at that, Pansing, 0 first aid kits. They've just given their first aid to one of the players, and they're going for the heal off eventually. Meanwhile, the rest of the teams continue to fight. Clowny gets a knock onto Zigsoft, gets Trigger as well. Marcos Gaming step into the fight. They're going around the rock, and Max Cash has a massive advantage. He eliminates one of the teams. 7 Seas, they are down to 1 player, and he's outside healing off. Final boss, can he make it? No, Max Cash finds him. Oh no, this is devastating. Final boss is gonna go down, and looks like Lifecraft might just take the chicken dinner over here. They haven't been found. It's the dude versus the villain. It's the battle of the doctors. Who's gonna come out on top? 7 Seas are out. No, I think dude will make it. Dude has 3 first aid kits.
Yeah.
And villain is taking away.
Oh my god. Oh my god, this is unbelievable, and it looks like Lifecraft is losing the heal off, and they come in second, and Marcos Gaming again in Vikendi with the heal off coming in first. Amazing play by Marcos Gaming. Well done. GG, well played.
actually 7Cs could have won this whole heal-off battle. Because if I remember correctly, Marcos had like some 7 to 8 first aid kits. Then I'm forgetting names at this point. Doesn't matter.
It's fine. They didn't.
Yeah. So-
Marcos Gaming, like their push to that aggressive push to Livecraft was just unexpected. But then again, Marcos Gaming has been playing consistently aggressive in the semis. They've been on fire, just brutalizing all these other teams. Livecraft didn't expect that push. They expected some sort of a heal off. But the moment Marcos Gaming noticed that Livecraft was taking fire from 7Cs Esports and they were exchanging shots at each other, these teams just went through. And Marcos just pushed in and eliminated them. Like, what a push by Marcos. Amazing.
Yeah. And Livecraft had the highest amount of the highest amount of med kits. I think one of the players had like 11 or something. So he would have definitely won the heal off, but they pushed him. And that's where everything was messed up, because he can't heal anymore. He has to fight, and as soon as he starts fighting, that's it. That's the end. You won't have enough time left to heal. And that's how Livecraft finished third. If he would have stayed hidden somewhere where he couldn't be shot at and he continued healing off, I think Livecraft would have taken the whole thing.
Absolutely. We have the PMPO South Asia team slots right now, and in the spring split, we have 1 to 9 PMCO team slots. So 9 teams are going to get a slot for the PMPL South Asia team. And yeah, that's great. So top 9 teams right now, you want to call it?
Top 9 teams.
Fnatic,
Right now, it's a bit too early. Yeah,
Fnatic,
and
7Cs,
the
maybe
usual
Marcos, Soul, Entity.
No, Soul doesn't need to. Soul doesn't need to do it. Nah, they're directly coming in towards the Pro League.
Oh yeah, so they already got a slot.
Yeah,
Right.
already got a slot. Teams like Soul, teams like ING, they have already qualified for the Pro League, and everyone else has to go through the PMCO qualifiers.
There we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the chat who you think will get a PMCO spring split slot for India. My tongue is failing me. Crips, take it away.
Well, we did mention that some of the teams have a much higher chance of making it to the Pro League, especially the team who has Blazy. He had 5 kills in this one. Marcos Gaming is, I think, one of the teams that will definitely make it. Fnatic, 7Cs. I don't know if Mayhem will be able to make it, but it will be very sad if they don't qualify, because they are one of the best teams. I think Elements also have a high chance of qualifying for this one. Who else? I think Orange Rock can. It's obvious. I don't even need to talk about them. They will definitely make it through. So these 9 teams are gonna have a nice time. Other than that, these teams, even though they make it to the final stage, getting into the top 9 is very difficult. So let's just take it one step at a time. Let's just see which out of these top 24 teams make it to top 16, and then we'll figure out what happens later on. So the Pro League is pretty far away. There's still like a month to go for that.
Yeah, well, let's not forget Blazy got the MVP with 5 kills. And yeah, Marcos Gaming has just been brutalizing all these other teams. I have to say, like, we did not see this in the group stages. So they are definitely securing that first place position. Let's look at the standings in a bit, and it will no surprise be that the overall standings, Marcos Gaming still on top, first place. How many kills did they get? More than at least 10 kills?
I think so. They definitely were in the zone all the time, and they were getting the timing down to perfection. So I assume they have plenty of them. I think they should be in the double digits.
There we go. We've got Blazy pouncing. Yeah, at least 9 kills for Marcos Gaming right there. Fnatic always getting 5 kills, but like I don't know, like the Fnatic push seemed a little premature. I mean, they didn't. I don't know. I think they didn't have to push that Revenge Esports
Yeah, they definitely did not need to.
squad. This thing, it just didn't make sense, and it's amazing how 7Cs just sort of swooped in and third-partied everyone.
Yeah.
The perfect third party again from 7Cs Esports.
Yeah, I was expecting Fnatic to just, hold on to their horses and let 7Cs finish off Revenge first, and then Fnatic would move in, because that would make sense. Fnatic were outside the zone, and they just needed to stay there. They needed to just move in a little bit, And they did manage to do so when they took their position outside the wall with the smoke for cover. So that was perfect. Either way,
Yep.
7Cs.
Yeah.
The
UMExRxN
decisions
also.
you make in a heat of the moment, that's what counts the most.
Absolutely. UMExRxN, of course, coming in with 7 kills in the top 5 leaderboards. Maybe more. Let's look at the overall standings. But yeah, UMExRxN did have a good couple of games. But I guess in Vikendi, it just didn't pan out for them. Like Erangel, of course, they won the first match of the day. They got the chicken dinner. They didn't do too bad in... well, they did kind of bad in Sanhok. Yeah, so it's been kind of downhill for UMExRxN, for Sanhok and Vikendi. But we do have one more match pending. We have Erangel, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Yeah, Erangel is going to be an amazing one because all these teams have seen how they play in the first game today. So probably they learn from the mistakes, or probably they will study their opponents. And by the time Erangel loads up, all these teams will have changed whatever they like to do. So if you guys are enjoying, do hit like and subscribe, and we will see you very, very soon. But before we go, we need to address the teams and see how many points each one has. Marcus Gaming, they continue to be on top, and this time with 9 kills, although the kill leaders are Fnatic. They have 11 kills, 5 placement points because they could not hold on. They were a bit impatient, and that's why they finished off pretty early in the circle. Regardless, they should be happy with the amount of kills they have. Lifecraft, they ran out of first aid kits, but that's why they have only 20 points this time.
Let's not forget. Let's not forget Lifecraft. I mean, Lifecraft, of course, 6 kills and 20 points. They definitely need the points as they climb up into a safer zone in the overall standings. 7Cs Esports, 18 points are definitely going to help them retain their position in the overall standings. But let's not forget TeamTamilas also coming in 5th place, so 11 points, which is great. But the rest of the teams are not the greatest performance. TeamElves, AIM Gaming, Full Power, Iki Mafia. No kills whatsoever, just the 1 point in standings. Team Ecstasy, at least they got some placement points, but again, no kills.
Yeah, all because of Unreal and his hiding skills near the dockyard. Either way, Team Ecstasy, they took a bunch of losses very early in the game. I'm actually surprised they managed to get more than 1 placement point in this game, so that itself is a big deal. Either way, Marcus Gaming, they continue to perform well, and if this keeps on going on, Marcus Gaming will eventually end up, topping the whole leaderboard, and they will put up enough points in between them and the second place, which might just make it impossible for the other teams to bridge the gap. So let's take a look at the overall standings, and then we will figure out how far ahead is Marcus. Look at it, 224 points. The closest competitor is at 179.
Yep.
Wow, so that's like a whole 40-point difference, more than that.
Fnatic edging away slightly with their kills. Mostly, they've still not won a chicken dinner. But if they do win a chicken dinner, Fnatic will jump and they will cross Megastars because they're not too... they're tied with Megastars right now with 159 points. But yeah, as you said, Marcus Gaming, 224 points, amazing, and
100 kills.
100 kills, finally a century for them. Somebody takes a screenshot from Marcos. But yeah, 3 chicken dinners, 100 kills. I mean, great performance from this team. 7Cs Esports, 179 points, but 2 chicken dinners to their name. So we do have another match to go, and I still think 7Cs Esports will edge closer to Marcos in the 4th map of Erangel.
Yeah, but this time TeamTamilas had a bad time. They finished 8th, even though they had an advantage at one point. They were third-partying into VSGCrawlers. They were third-partying upon M40. But in the final rotate, they could not make it to Dobromeister. That's why they finished 8th. VSGCrawlers, though, this is just an unfortunate game for them. They were getting picked off by so many teams. It's not even funny anymore. Lifecraft, how are they on the 10th spot? They should have been higher because they did get quite a lot of points in Vikendi. I guess that's probably why they are in the top 10 now. They were, I think, on the 13th or the 14th spot before this. Godlike slips down because they're not playing today. Revenge Esports, I'm actually surprised they're still in the 12th spot. I thought they would have gotten enough points to get in top 10, but apparently not.
Well, Lifecraft is showing that they can come back, and Iki Mafia also slowly climbing up the ladder. They do have the one chicken dinner from Erangel to their name, but they're going to perform. They're going to have to perform way better than what they've been doing so far today, and maybe get another couple of kills or a chicken dinner to make it to the safe area, which is the top 16 positions.
Well, the top 16 definitely is seeming to be a challenge for teams that at one point we thought would have absolutely no trouble getting in there. Look at how low JSL is. They are 10 points behind minus 40, and then minus 40 is a whole 40 points behind Team Ecstasy, which is like the closest team to make it to the top 16. And Mayhem has to put a lot of points in between them and Ecstasy in order to overtake them, which is going to be, again, very, very difficult. So, yeah, the competition is getting super intense at this point, and the teams are really starting to feel the heat.
And the thing is, the top teams are just consistently performing, and the bottom teams, I feel, are slowly losing their morale, slowly losing their energy, momentum, whatever you want to say. And they're not... It's just like, it's not, you don't see position 17 to 24 really doing much. They're still in the same place. They're not doing anything to change it. So it has been pretty disappointing to see all these teams who performed really well in the group stages to, shit the bed in the semis.
So yeah, that's been a consistent theme. All the teams that have a good time in the group stages don't do well in semifinals. And the teams that aren't doing well in semifinals, it's not even like they have a few breakout games that help them move up. They just continue struggling. Let's see if the struggle continues or they manage to make a comeback as we move into the last game, Erangel, in just a few minutes. So don't go anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split. This is the India semifinals day 5. I am PC Peasants Gaming, and if you see me in the chat, do say hi. And my co-caster is Crips, and we are not in the same city, by the way. Crips is in Mumbai, I'm in Chennai, and we are doing this cast over Discord. It is a technological marvel that we're able to cast over Krat and K18. But here we are. We do hope you're enjoying the English cast. And if you are, don't forget to like and subscribe to the PUBG Mobile Esports channel. And maybe head on over to our respective channels and give us some of that love.
Yeah, a lot of love to K18 as well, because I've been appreciating his glasses all throughout the qualifiers. And now he has a nice little cap as well. I have to admit that the fact that Krat and K18 are right next to each other obviously makes the synergy much better, but we are also trying our best to keep up. Either way, some teams are also struggling to keep up.
Yep.
Who do you think... do you think any of these teams will manage to make it back in this final map?
I mean, let's talk about Lifecraft's comeback for a second. Like, Lifecraft was also in the danger zone between position 17 and 24, and they did make a decent comeback in the last couple of games. They finally, even in the group stages, if you notice, it was like the last day when they actually started performing. So this is a team that clearly needs like an environment of pressure for them to perform, and only then do they perform. So hey, the playing part's on the screen right now, and Crips, you can take it away. You know where these teams drop better than I do.
Yep, it starts at Novo and goes all the way to its shooting range. Surprisingly, Novo is gonna be relatively empty. Usually Team Mega drop over here, but since they're not playing today, it's 7Cs who are exploring multiple options. We have a few members of 7Cs going towards Novo. Meanwhile, Final Boss and one more of his player. Yes, it's 420 OP. Both of them go towards military base. They're 7Cs is spreading out. 2-2. It's a little awkward. Meanwhile, TeamTamilas are dropping straight down towards the town at the edge of the bridge. So they will gatekeep 7Cs. Meanwhile, Cells are dropping over Milta. Team Fnatic and M40 heading towards the compounds of South. I think M40 will go towards Ferry Pier and Fnatic will settle where they usually do. Those compounds at the southern edge of the island. Mayhem centrally inside Pachinki. Mega Team Marco is actually in Rozok and School. Lifecraft, they are moving towards Yasnaya, but they haven't gotten there yet. So it's going to be a bit of time before they finally make landfall. Iki Mafia is also heading towards Yasnaya. So these two teams, they always go there, but they hardly ever fight. I hope they finally do end up fighting this time. Either way, the circle is heavily skewed towards the north, which means the teams on the military base island will have to rotate quickly. AIM Gaming this time have taken control of George Pool dockyards, and TeamTamilas haven't reached the South George Pool city yet. They are going to have to glide their way or hopefully find the car to get there. Revenge, instead of going for Zaki, they have just a few members in Zaki, and the rest of them are heading towards North George, which is nice. They are splitting up and should be able to get cars and loot even faster.
Alright, so you're right about Revenge, but Revenge has also the easiest rotation to Severny right now, even AIM Gaming for that matter. But finally, we see Lifecraft take a couple of pot shots at Iki Mafia. I mean, these teams have always been dropping at Yasnaya, and they have not been doing anything. No, I don't think they were pot shots. I think Neo actually was getting punched out by Villain, but never mind. The pot shots have started. Zeref quickly finishing off Lifecraft's Villain. So Lifecraft is now going to be a little concerned that they lost one of their players.
Oh no, Scout. He was down by one of the players of M40. Oh, this is problematic. This is a continuous trend. Scout does get knocked out, but luckily is he close to his teammates? No, there's nobody else around him.
Okay, this is a cheeky drop on M40's front, because M40 never generally drops here, and they kind of know Fnatic loves going for these positions, so they quickly dropped and eliminated Scout, one of Fnatic's best players.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was talking about before the game began. These teams have played the first game, Erangel, and now they are playing it again. So they will do some countering, they will do some cheeky stuff that will throw the other teams off guard. And yeah, Fnatic have already been caught off guard. Scout is down. They're down to 3 players.
Yeah. I mean, the way Fnatic does drop and loot is interesting, but it's also quite risky. They do go for the vehicles over the early game loot. They have very basic level 1 loot with SMGs, nothing fancy. But then they go for the rotations and try to loot better loot in the circle. So it's been an interesting strategy, but it has not always played out in their favor, where one Fnatic player always gets knocked if there's another team involved. So it is a high risk, high reward drop.
Yeah, and this time it turned even more risky because M40 knew what they were doing. They knew how to counter Fnatic. And that's a nice early kill that they've bagged. Also, it wasn't anyone else. It was Scout. He's the most mechanically gifted and, in my opinion, one of the best players in the country right now. And if you knock him out right at the start, that's a massive advantage to you.
Yeah, but the last couple of games, Scout has not been playing, and Fnatic, with Paritosh, who is their 5th member, have still managed to get a couple of kills. Of course, they haven't got a chicken dinner, but they were managing without Scout. But now that they do have Scout and they've lost him, they are back to a 3-man. So let's see if Fnatic can actually make it up. They are now rotating towards the center circle. We've got Mayhem, who had dropped in Pochinki, still looting away at Pochinki, and Rozok has Marcos Gaming, 2 players of Marcos, and another 2 in the school.
Well, Livecraft are taking their... this is weird. So they're doing this for the first time. Livecraft is going over towards the left-hand side. Sorry, not the left-hand side, the right-hand side of Yasnaya, simply because it's in this zone. They're trying to look for vehicles because, obviously, we have pointed out before that finding vehicles in Yasnaya is incredibly tough. And I'm assuming that Yasnaya won't be in the next zone, so they have to go ahead. Wow, okay. Elements did not fight Fnatic. I thought Gabbar would take a couple of shots, but apparently not.
Yeah, I mean,
he's just heading their separate ways now.
He was alone. Again, Elements going with the risky loots, not dropping together, dropping separately. And yeah, the top tier teams seem to be doing that a lot. They split up, even Marcos Gaming, but Marcos Gaming is playing duos with Rozok and School. But yeah, this is exactly what Fnatic is known for. They drop separately and then they go for the rotation. And I believe Fnatic will try to take maybe Severny or around those areas so that they can not only get loot but also have a good defensive position against the circle and teams that are pushing.
Yeah, but if they want to get to Severny or anywhere towards the north of the river, they're going to have to go through Rozok or through the bridge of Yasnaya. And both those areas are well guarded. So I guess they will just settle for somewhere near the northern side of the river, like close to Rozok or in between Rozok and Yasnaya, so that they can just stay there and get the teams who are coming out of Yasnaya later on. I'm assuming Yasnaya won't be in the zone anymore because it usually is the first town to get nulled out. And yeah, let's see what happens. Mayhem are already moving out of Pochinki. Looks like they're done looting, and they have some good loot. Navjot and Shadow, all of them nicely armored up. Shadow has a level 3 armor and everything. So yeah, pretty cool.
Yep, exactly. Like Mayhem, let's see if Mayhem actually does perform, because they are again in a very dangerous position in the overall standings, and they need to perform if they want to make it to the finals. So there's a lot of pressure on them right there. And now Fnatic is serving their enemies. They have an eye on VSGCrawlers, but they are watching. They're not taking the shots at them just yet. They're just waiting for them to rotate out. And
yeah, I think they will wait for VSG to move into one compound and get out of their cars. This is the perfect time. You see, Avi is super vulnerable right now.
Yep.
But always, his trigger discipline is amazing.
Yep, absolutely. I would have fired a couple of shots at Avi, and I would have missed, but VSGCrawlers are now taking the gas station and just serving the area that Fnatic was just on right now, but they don't spot them out.
Fnatic. They're moving away from the gas station, little towards the left-hand side of it. Cells are also close by, so this could turn into a very messy fight. Not a lot of cover in between these fields. Cars are super relevant. Fnatic, they engage upon Mayhem. Okay, then. I mean, out of all the teams they had in their crosses, I didn't expect Mayhem would be the one that starts taking damage from Fnatic. But now they've telecasted their position to a lot of players, and Mayhem are far apart, believe going on a completely different tangent from his team. There's a nice AWM drop in Severny, and unfortunately none of the teams are over here to collect it.
Yep, I'm surprised no team have gone for Severny yet, but we'll know where this next circle is, and Severny's just about at the edge of the circle. We've got Marcos Gaming also taking a central position, and meanwhile, we did see M40's Carnage explode. I'm not sure how, but he's dead.
Yeah, that's what happens when you go down a ball of flames in the car. There's no chance to revive you. Either way, M40, they are pretty much safe. This compound, I think, is somewhere near farm, so they aren't in a lot of danger, but Believe definitely is. There's no teammates around him. His teammates, I mean, yeah, you see them on the screen, but they're on the other side of the river. Believe was incredibly close to Marcos Gaming, who are now starting to rotate into Rozhok. I think Rozhok will turn into one of the hottest places over here.
Yep.
And wait a second, while I say that, Mayhem already starts taking fights.
MJ getting the early knock on the VSGCrawler player, and we've got Mayhem also fighting Team Elements.
Yep, here we go. Believe he pulls up into the compound. Cloak will be taken down by Max Cash. Wow, wait, what? Marcos Gaming a third party into this fight. Oh, this is messy. This is about to turn into a three-way. Shadow moves in. The AK, is it gonna do enough? He doesn't have enough HP, but he has backup, surely. And Elements will lose this one. Mayhem somehow survive. And now their next target is gonna be Marcos Gaming. They just saw Team Elements getting eliminated, and now they want to take the chance. They want to take the chance when Mayhem is already low on HP, and they storm the compound.
Ooh.
A nade doesn't damage them quite a lot, but it will hold them at bay. Believe is desperately trying to move to the left-hand side of the wall and hopefully catch someone off guard, but it won't happen. Shadow's down already. Cooking that nade. Oh no, the nade misses. It bounces off the wall and goes right beside him, completely unintended. And now Pansing knows there's gonna be someone on the other side of the wall. Believe does manage to knock out the dude, but I think Blazy should be able to trade him quickly. And here we go. Mayhem also out. Marcos Gaming, they bagged a lot of points for themselves, and they timed the attack perfectly.
That was a brilliant third party for Marcos Gaming. I love how they just pushed in willy-nilly, not taking any chances, just going for that aggressive action. And as usual, Marcos Gaming with their speed, violence, and momentum, winning that fight.
Dr. Disrespect references. I like it. I like it. Celts, we saw them fight with Team M40 just a couple of seconds ago, but now the fight has stopped. VSGCrawlers have also disengaged. We saw them at the gas pump a few minutes ago, and they're still there. They haven't moved out, even though they were fighting Team M40 at the same time. What do Fnatic do in this one? Do they storm the compound? I don't think they can. They don't have enough players to do so.
They don't really have to, because Fnatic is known to hold a hill quite well.
Yeah.
We see Zeus take a couple of shots at the Team Tamil players, but he does take a little bit of action from the other Team Tamil players. Oh, and they get the knock. Zeus is knocked out by Striker of Team Tamil, and now Team Tamil are quickly going to go for the push and the thirst. Karaoke going as quickly as possible. Ipman also knocked. Rocky also knocked. Are they going to drive over these players? No, they're not. They're going to take up a longer rotation and try to finish off the fourth player, that is Ducky.
But look at the circle. It
Look
is
at Manti
devastating.
chase after Ducky, and Karaoke goes for the spray on Ducky, does a decent amount of damage, but Ducky is like, nope, and he gets out of there. Manti OP carrying on the chase on Ducky. We've got a classic car chase going on the screen right now, but Manti OP decides that it's not worth his time, and he takes a U-turn and he goes back.
Yeah, they have 3 kills in the bag already. They just need to finish each other off. Atanki has a nice angle onto Frosty OP right there. Oh, and look at that. Team Tamil are going for the disrespect plays. They're panning them and punching them to death.
Unbelievable. Team Tamil showing that they have all the style in the world. But meanwhile, Cells is now fighting Sahil of Team Ecstasy. Atanki gets a lot of damage onto Sahil. Now he gets ready with the VSS. Sahil needs to quickly bandage himself as Unreal gets him the smoke for cover. Atanki, Rocks also trying to go for that little flank there, but he decides not to commit to the flank. And now we have Venom on the screen in the outhouse. Cells, Rocks, what is he doing? He decides to go into the SUV and maybe disengage.
He's trying to get back into the compound. They're just trying to get the entire team back together. No, wait a second. Rocks and MJ are bailing out of this fight. Atanki keeps the pressure on Team Ecstasy. His teammates are far away already. Illusion also backs the hell out of this one. Oh, wait, they've gone for a lineup change again. You see?
Yeah.
This time, Illusion and Atanki are both playing.
Interesting. Team Cells always with the roster changes between matches, which I've not seen happen in PMCO much. And Team Cells decides to take the hill, which is a very difficult hill to defend. But Fnatic was just on that hill, and I now wonder where they've gone. Fnatic has taken up a central position with Umamba, right towards the center of the circle. Anyway, never mind. Team Ecstasy now find Lifecraft, knock Noob, and we are seeing Team Ecstasy exfil with shots on Cells, Rocks. They get the knock, and they are going for the thirst because why not? Team Cells was already giving them a lot of heat just earlier on. And there we go. Sahil gets the thirst with the explosion, but his greed costs him as he gets traded by an Atanki with the VSS from the hill. Venom trying to get an angle on the Atanki. They spot each other. He wants a spray down from Venom. He does a lot of suppressive fire to Atanki. And now he's going to go for the smoke. I'm not sure what he was trying there with that smoke, but Sahil outside the play zone in the blue. I wonder if he will be able to heal up and get to safety.
Cells are safe. They're inside the zone nice and well. Team Ecstasy close to them. But look at the circle, and even Rozok has been nulled out. It's the school area and the hills close to it that's in the zone. Umumba have the hill. They have Fnatic right next to them. Oh, that's where Fnatic went. They went to the hill to the south of school. Okay, that's a massive rotate. I'm surprised they actually managed to make it there in one piece.
Yep.
Either way, this is the fourth circle, and these teams need to get in quickly. Otherwise, the play zone will knock them, and that's exactly what happens. Sahil goes down to the zone.
Yeah, Sahil, unfortunately, a casualty for that fight. But let's look at the circle and the placements here. Marcos Gaming carefully placing themselves in the school. 7C's taking the school apps. And Revenge taking the hill south of the school apps. So all these teams are perfectly poised for that safe zone.
Frosty, he stopped right in a bad spot. He is so vulnerable. There's Team 19 right nearby. They're not engaging with them. What is going on?
Yeah. Lifecraft is not bothering. Yeah, because he needs to also rotate. He takes a couple of shots. Maybe no, he does not. He decides that there is trigger discipline because Lifecraft need the placement points if they want to secure their place in the top 16 standings, and that's why Clowny did not commit to that fight. They just let Team Ecstasy drive off.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any vehicles. Clowny's gonna die in the zone.
No, he had a buggy. He actually had a buggy. Yeah, he had a buggy.
Okay, then it's fine.
Yeah. And now it's the lone M40 rival player dealing with a push from VSGCrawlers, and 7C's Esports is also in the mix. Meanwhile, Aim Gaming gets knocked out, and Max Cash gets a knock on Team Cells with a nade. Marcos Gaming defending their position at school, while 420 tries to get an angle on the Marcos Gaming players. He spots Blazy, he spots the dude. He's just taking pot shots at them.
Yeah, but Cells are safe at least for now inside that red house. They have a bunch of smokes which they used in order to get there. VSGCrawlers also close by in a taller building. Meanwhile, M40 continue to hold on. The dude finally connects some shots with Illusion. And yeah, that little red house that Cells was posted up in, it's gonna be assaulted by a lot of teams now. Team Ecstasy at the edges of the circle are being gatekept by Icky Mafia. Oh, this is not a team you want to go up against, especially out in the open. Icky Mafia excel in non-compound fights.
Yep.
This is wide open. This is their home turf.
Yeah, so let's see what Icky Mafia does. The nades go out, and Zverev gets the knock with the nade on Frosty OP. And it looks like Icky Mafia are going to go for the push. Pain trying to get an angle on the Team Ecstasy players. Venom reviving his teammate. Meanwhile, Pain slowly makes his way towards them. Unreal also trying to reach them in time, but I don't think he can do anything. He'll just have to provide covering fire. Shots are being fired. Mighty, not sure what he's spraying at right now, but Venom, oh, he gets knocked by Zarif, and it is Venom and Frosty OP under immense fire. Unreal not really doing much. Unreal finally chiming in, getting a knock on Mighty. Neo Nike now looking for Unreal. He's waiting for Unreal to maybe go for another peek. Both Venom and Frosty OP knocked. It is up to Unreal. If he can push in and maybe res them, I highly doubt it though. Now it's completely up to Unreal. If he can trade Iki Mafia, he will go for it. Neo Nike knows exactly where he is.
I think Iki Mafia need to disengage. The circle just moved heavily towards the east, and none of the compounds are in the zone anymore. Revenge should be able to gatekeep pretty much everyone, and a Fnatic are going around the circle, taking it from the eastern side. Oh, this is brilliant. Always should be able to get himself into a safe spot if he manages to survive this. Takes a lot of damage, but he manages to walk out of it alive. Not anymore, as Kiki engages him now. Out of the Frank Pan and into the fire. Oasis is down as well.
Well, Oasis was probably trying to be the reconnaissance for his team, and he did pay a heavy price, but this means Fnatic is now comfortably in the circle. Well, let's see if Umumba spots them out. Umumba spots out Team Tamil, gets a couple of shots in. Let's see, it is a battle for the South Hill next to School Apps. Crips?
Yep. Umumba have a nice position near this little shack, and they managed to connect a lot of shots onto TeamTamilas, but no knocks just yet. Keep in mind that I think the last few remaining members of Fnatic are also right next to them. At the same time, they're getting pushed by teams behind them. Max Cash does manage to knock out a player from Lifecraft, which is a completely different thing. And meanwhile, Revenge, who were once gatekeeping, are now getting fired by Team 7Cs and Team Marcos at the same time. This is going to be a messy one. Team Revenge have Sonic, who's knocked out, but he should be able to get res pretty easily, considering they have a little shack for cover and plenty of smokes as well. 7Cs on low ground. They now go for the push. Zigsaw, he engages in a fight with Raid, but he's gonna go down. And that brings 7Cs to their last man. It's final boss. I think... No, it's not the last man. Vido is also alive. Okay, then. This might just give them a little chance. Vido takes a lot of damage, and Akshay wants to finish him off. Raid... He's knocked out. I don't think he's going to be able to... I don't think he will be rezzed.
Nope, he will not be.
In a lot of trouble.
Yep, 7Cs is now trying to get an angle. Meanwhile, Ash getting a knock on Iki Mafia. Even Ronak getting a knock on Iki Mafia. These players are spraying down, but Umumba enters the fight, giving Ash something to worry about, putting him in the ground. Umumba with the perfect third party, also now fighting Iki Mafia, and Iki Mafia is eliminated. Umumba making quick work of Iki Mafia, now turning their eyes to Fnatic. It is up to Ronak, the last man in Fnatic. Can he take a 4v1? Highly unlikely, but Umumba has the perfect spot, but 7Cs Esports gets eliminated by the play zone, and a Tanki from Team Cells.
Well, that brings the tally down to 8 teams, and the circle is incredibly small right now. Umumba have a great position. They're on the top of the hill. They have high ground advantage. Ronak still hiding and biding his time, but I don't think Umumba will be the one to finish him off. I think someone like Lifecraft or Revenge will come in. Ronak should be safe behind that rock for now, unless he decides to fight. And he does. He does a lot of damage to Beachman Goldblade. Destro going in for the push. He wants to go up close and personal, and he will be the one who buries Ronak into the ground. That's one team that Marcos have to now not worry about. And as they take the cars, they're going up the hill straight into the camp of VSGCrawlers. RV right around the rock, and he's gonna get decimated without any problem at all. VSGCrawlers eliminated. Marcos, they're now getting attacked by Team Revenge as the dude gets completely destroyed. Max Cash is on the ground, and Revenge, look at Raid. He jumps into the car and he's trying to flank them from the other side. Raid has the potential to finish off this entire fight all by himself. Even Ryu is in the car, and he's going in for the kills. Max Cash, I don't think he's going to be able to get revived.
Yep. Absolutely. Revenge Esports needs to push in and take Marcos Gaming as quickly as they possible because they are right now 2 players. Blazy gets the sprayed on Wraith, and that's going to definitely hurt as Marcos Gaming are still not going down without a fight. Lifecraft meanwhile getting a knock on the Revenge Esports player Sonic. So it looks like Revenge Esports now has to worry about 2 teams. Blazy sprays again. He doesn't connect on Ryu this time. And Marcos Gaming's Pansy goes for the res on Max Cash.
Lazy. He's trying to take the flank using the smoke as cover. He knows that most of the people of Revenge Esports are down, and it's all up to Ryu from Revenge in order to make this work for his team. But I think Blazy just wants to confirm the kills for himself so that Lifecraft don't steal away, because that's exactly what they're doing. Look at that. Clowny just finished off one more player of Revenge.
Yes.
Who was knocked out by Marcos in the first place, so they just don't want to lose points, and that's what Blazy is doing.
Right. Blazy dangerously close. He's just heard the reload of Wraith. If he sprays in Wraith's direction, Wraith is going to get knocked out. But Ryu is going to die to the play zone as the blue hurts him. And Blazy goes for the spray, but he does not connect. And Wraith gets the knock, but gets traded by Max Cash. Amazing, amazing play by Max Cash right there. And Blazy is not going to make it either. We have 2 players from Marcos Gaming still alive and well. And Revenge Esports Ryu, as he tries to get into the play zone with Max Cash, finishes off Ryu. He gets that 1 point. Revenge is eliminated.
Lifecraft have only 1 member alive. Keep in mind that that 1 member himself is just stealing so many kills. Clowny, that guy deserves a lot of credit. Meanwhile, TeamTamilas are now engaging with Yumba. Keep in mind that TeamTamilas and Yumba are the only teams who have 3 players alive each. And Tamils just lost 1. Kiki rolls up in his car, and he was hoping to serve as a distraction, but doesn't really matter because Tamils don't even have a line of sight onto them. They're throwing nades willy-nilly into the open, which won't connect at all.
Yeah, Team Tamil is going for the desperate nade push here, but we still have 3 players from UMExRxN alive and well. Team Tamil is, of course, trying to res their teammate. Not sure if they can get to Mr. Spray, but they finally do. So all 3 Tamil players are still very much in the fight. And it is UMExRxN, Team Tamils, Marcos Gaming, 2 players left, and the lone Lifecraft Clowny, who is not going to want to enter this fight at all. He's just going for those placement points right now.
Look at Mr. Spray. He gets into a car hoping that he can do something smart, but Kiki proves that it is not indeed smart at all. Should be able to get the thirst onto him as well, but while he goes for that, Manti lands a couple of shots at him. That's going to keep his teammate alive just for a couple seconds longer. The nades fail. Kiki uses the time to heal up, but his car is still there. The car could blow up any second, and that would decimate Kiki.
Ooh.
Don't worry, as Marco step into the fight and Pansing with the DP, he's raining hell upon them. He knocks out Manti, finishes him as well, and now it's up to Karaoke. Did he just somehow survive in that smoke? He's the last man standing for Team Tamils.
Oh.
You have a massive advantage as they finally put him out of his misery, and Team Tamils are out. 3 versus 2 versus 1.
Yep, it is a 2v3v1, as you rightly said. Pansing and Max Cash still in a pretty strong position, but UMExRxN, of course, they have the spread, they have the circle. I'm sure Clowny is not going to want to get into this fight. He's going to wait for the last circle and then chime in. But if Bhishma is unlucky, Clowny might just get a couple of picks on him, and then it will be a 2v2. So what are your predictions?
So UMExRxN still have the zone, and Marcos Gaming have to crawl their way up because they are not in the circle anymore. So I think Marcos Gaming will go down first, and Clowny will somehow survive long enough. No, actually no. Clowny has he has a very bad spot because Bhishma can easily see him.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
actually surprised Bhishma hasn't seen him yet. He should have been able to do so.
Yeah, I think Bhishma is mostly looking at the plume of smoke that's coming out in front of him. But Clowny sprays down, and now Bhishma knows exactly where these players are. Probably
if
thinks...
Maxka can somehow get the kill onto Clowny, they will at least secure second place. And that's exactly what they've done. But now they walk into the place that Clowny was, and UMExRxN stole that kill. So that's just worse. They don't even get that 1 point that they were hoping to get.
All right, here, let's see what happens here. UMExRxN goes for the push, I believe. No, they're just positioning their cars. Pansing throwing the nades as much as they can.
Yeah, but you can't get the nades that far, especially when you're prone and downhill.
Kiki
car
creating
blows up.
cover.
Yeah. He's creating cover with the blown up car, and one nade almost knocks him out, but not quite.
Max Cash has been spotted out, and he gets knocked out by Destro, and Bhishma goes for the push, but he gets traded and gets traded again by Destro. So GG, well played. UMUMBA winning their second chicken dinner today in Erangel. And Marcos Gaming coming in a strong second place. What a beautiful, amazing play by the UMUMBA guys.
Definitely. If you remember the group stages, I think UMUMBA was the weakest team in Erangel because they almost got like 2 or 3 of their players killed before the first circle even popped. That's what used to happen to UMUMBA in the group stages of Erangel. But now look at them. 2 chicken dinners.
Yep.
Both of them in Erangel. They have definitely bounced back.
Yep, absolutely. These players are going crazy, and it's just unfortunate that Team Tamil got eliminated, but they were also in a sandwich situation, and it just didn't work out for them.
Well, a lot of teams, they could not make this one work. They did take nice positions in Rozhok and in the school buildings, but then as soon as the next circle popped, UMUMBA was like, all right then, thank you so much. Revenge at one point were in a great situation because they were able to gatekeep Marcos and Lifecraft at the same time. But guess what? That turned upon them because Lifecraft and Marcos, combined forces to destroy Team Revenge.
Yep. Even 7 Seas Esports, an unfortunate elimination for them. They took heavy casualties from the play zone and the Revenge Esports players, so they couldn't make it to the last circle. But Fnatic's performance in Erangel was not the greatest, losing Scout OP so early on in the game, and then Oves with his reconnaissance push. It just didn't work out for them.
Yeah, but I think what Oves did was necessary. There's no way they would have been able to survive in the place that they were. And if Oves could have taken a position towards the eastern side of the hill, would have been nice. It's just that he didn't expect UMUMBA to be spread out so far and wide that even when he went all the way around the hill, he was getting fired upon. And I think Kiki was the one who got the kill on Oves.
Yep.
I don't remember who got the kill, but it was UMUMBA that eliminated Oves.
Yeah, it was Kiki.
Sure.
4 kills, 599 damage. Kiki, some crazy damage from these UMUMBA players. In general, UMUMBA has been on fire. This has probably been their best day of the PMCO today, and they racked up at least 50-60 points. So let's look at the standings right now. Yep, UMUMBA has 31 points, so almost 60 points in total for just today. 11 kills, amazing. Marcos Gaming keeping up the pressure and the position, getting both 10 kills and second place, which is fantastic. Coming in second with 24 points. Let's not forget that they've reached a century. And finally, Lifecraft climbing up the ladder. They got the 3rd position, but they also got the 5 kills, 15 points. Amazing gameplay from them.
Wait, why are there only 15 teams on this list? Did one team not connect or something?
Maybe.
We didn't even realize that.
Yeah, we didn't actually even realize that. So, yeah, looks like one team did not connect. I'm guessing it was -40 because... No, -40 is on the screen. We're wondering which team did not connect. Well, we will have a word from the admins and we will know what's happening. But yep, Marcos Gaming leading the table as usual. Mayhem, 7 Seas Esports, Team Ecstasy. Mayhem, just the 4 kills though, but they got brutalized by Marcos Gaming when they got third-partied. So that was just unfortunate and a very disappointing performance from ELMT Esports, a team that both the English casters hold in high regard.
Yeah, ELMT Esports had a good start to the game, but unfortunately by the time they got into the groove of things, they were in hot water. Team Ecstasy also, they managed to make it to the end of the zone, but again, the timing was unfortunate and they walked right into an ambush. Speaking of ambush, it was Max Cash that set up most of the ambushes for Marcos Gaming. That's why they have a lot of kills this time. Max Cash leading with 5. Lifecraft Clowny, yes, we remember this man. Clowny has 4 kills and he was stealing them away from Marcos Gaming.
Absolutely. And let's look at the kills right now. Of course, Max Cash, amazing, 5 kills. Clowny, 4 kills. Kiki, 4 kills. I mean, these teams, UMUMBA, amazing distribution of kill points in general and amazing damage. Max Cash, again, amazing amounts of damage. Pansing getting 784 points, making him the highest damage dealer of the match. Let's look at the overall standings. Crips?
Yeah, Marco's Gaming on the verge of breaching the 250 point mark. What? Okay. I think at this point we need to just give the award to Marco's Gaming. I think they've put enough points between themselves and UMEmba. Yeah, speaking of UMEmba, would you have ever expected them to finish in the second place? I definitely wouldn't have. I thought they're a top 8 material, but not top 2.
Can you blame them? 2 chicken dinners just today, 65 kills. I mean, they had the best day ever. Amazing performance from UMEmba in both Erangel maps. Clearly, Erangel is the map for them. 7 Esports, of course, they had a good beginning bunch of games, but they didn't manage to get any chicken dinners. So I can understand why they pushed down a bit. Fnatic playing consistently, good or bad, depending on how you want to look at it. And
regardless, they're still in top 5.
Yeah, they're still in the top 5, so we really can't throw too much shade at them. And then TeamTamilas moving up to position 7. Of course, they have the 1 chicken dinner, which is great. And hey, look at these teams. Revenge Esports moving up. Lifecraft retaining their 10th position, and TeamElves also moving to the 12th position, which is great for both Revenge Cells. But Team Ecstasy is still in the danger zone because 15 Team Genocide will be playing tomorrow, and they're most likely going to cross Team Ecstasy.
Yeah, that's going to push Ecstasy down to the 16th spot. But I don't think they need to worry too much because the team that is in 17th and 18th spot have only like some 70, 80 something kills. So Ecstasy being on 96, I think they have a little bit of buffer before they actually drop into the danger zone. No, actually, no.
No, they don't.
Aztecs have 93. They are very close to overtaking them.
All right, so if we see Aztecs, Mayhem, and all these other teams perform tomorrow, are they playing tomorrow? If they are, then then we're going to see some shakeups in the standings. But right now, Aztecs and Mayhem are the closest to getting into the safe zone. I can't say the same for JSL, Full Power, -40, AIM Gaming. We do know that Elves will be playing tomorrow as well, but unless Elves pulls a magic a bunny out of the hat, we're not going to see too much of improvement in the overall standings.
Yeah, maybe using some of that elven magic as we read in fiction.
Ooh.
If they can somehow
Nice reference.
if they can somehow start landing those spells, then elves have a chance. But they need to get through Icky Mafia and Mayhem. Mayhem, they have 80 points, which is still far away from Aztecs. But I think if they, don't get knocked out very early in the game, even if they get into like the top 8 of every game, I think they should have enough points later on.
Yeah.
Either way, I think JSL, we can probably write them off. At least
Yeah,
for now.
we can. And Full Power, I guess, has just given up. I guess they didn't connect to the last match. It could have been a technical issue thing. It could have just been a team morale thing. I just hope it's a technical thing and not the fact that they've rage quit. But hey, we will know soon enough. The admins will let us know. And yeah, that's it. That was day 5 of the semifinals. I hope you guys enjoyed the English casts. I'm PC Peasants Gaming, and I have my friend here, Crips, my co-caster as well. And
thank you so much for those kind words.
Yes, we've had a very tiring and intense day 5, but don't go anywhere because day 6 is tomorrow, and we have a lot more action coming up soon.
Yeah, and day 6 is the last day, so all the teams are gonna have to get into maximum overdrive and push themselves in order to make it to the final stages of the PMCO Spring Split. The dude,
31 kills.
continues to be on top, 31, and now his teammate Pan Singh has also breached the 30 kill mark.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Marcos Gaming's Max Cash is also there in the top 5 with 27 kills. These players have just been fragging out left, right, and center. Akshay, of course, from Revenge Esports, again, a very strong player, 29 kills. And 420 OP from 7 Esports, their standout player with 28 kills. Amazing performance from all these top 5 players.
Yeah, I'm actually a bit sad for whatever happened to Team Revenge in that one. They had a great position, but then they got plummeted by way too many teams, and the heat was just too much for them to handle. Either way, great performance from them. We have Manti OP from TeamTamilas, who's putting his state and his team on the map with 26 kills. And then there's a big gap between him and Naruto. Look at that. Naruto from Team Insane. Insane did not play today, but Naruto still is on 21 kills. I think he will get a little bump in his kill numbers tomorrow when they finally step into the server. Team Elements, though, they have Ultron and Prince, both with 21 kills over here. But Prince has 4,600 damage. That's huge.
Absolutely, that's crazy. What a damage dealer. And Oves also climbing into the top 10 position, coming in with 4,115 damage. Yeah, we've not seen the greatest position plays from Fnatic, but at least he's been fragging out at least. And so they will make it to the finals, and I think Fnatic is more worried about the finals than the semis, than the group stages. So I do expect a lot more from Fnatic later on.
I mean, even if they don't play well tomorrow, it's fine. They don't need to play well. They just need to be in the top 16. And we've already heard from Scout that he doesn't care about the Indian qualifiers. He just wants to make it to the global stages, and that's where he wants to really step up. Either way, let's see which teams have what in store for us. I was impressed by Yumuma today. I'm assuming a lot of other teams will impress us tomorrow as well. My name is Crips, and joining me today was PC Peasants. And the two lovely gentlemen on your screen, Krat and K18, are doing the Hindi desk. And they seem to be having fun. We all are going to have a lot of fun. So I wouldn't say stay tuned, but do tune in tomorrow. It's the final day.
Yep, and I hope they also give us a desk eventually. You know?
Eventually. It's going to be nice to right next to you and cast rather than us staying in our separate cities.
Then we can hug each other as well, you know? We can do some really fun stuff.
Well, I'm really hoping forward to that. Let's see. We have the highlights on the screen for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you again tomorrow.